Welcome to Bitcoin Spike. This is London. Hope you're having a great weekend. Let's go over the price action on Bitcoin. It is an urgent update. We're going to talk about the exact framework together right now, currently priced at $42,041. You are being challenged if you're a trader right now. We're going to discuss that right now. The trades have been very shaky, kind of spotty, a lot of whipsaws. We're going to discuss why that is in terms of the rising wedge. Want to welcome all the VIP level members and the base campers. That's our base camp is our primary level of membership, and VIP is the top shelf membership here at Bitcoin Spike. We want to shout out to Angel. #1 in crypto, essentially, guys. You need to understand 779 entry into Bitcoin. And Angel, we're really excited to have you here in 2022 as part of our VIP ongoing success. We're looking forward to a great year. We're going to discuss the technical framework. I'm a former financial professional, okay? So not financial advice, but yeah, we're just going to discuss the framework that I can put things into so that we can understand the volatility of Bitcoin, so that we can understand kind of the precarious position that we're currently in terms of the technicals. You see a nice formation here in terms of the volatility, just great price action, 20 through 21. On up through the $65,000, okay, in April, right? The retracement, July takeoff, just under 30,000 up to 69,000. So just great volatility. We love crypto because of the volatility. We like to trade. If you are experienced or if you're new to crypto, we welcome you to join us. We have a solid group in the back. I want to shout out to Pathfinder. I want to shout out to just all the guys in the back. Really want to shout out to Steve Hinton, to Slim, to Craig, to AJ Crypto, to Vlad, to guys. I can keep going. Nice to have all of you in the back. You're just tearing it up. Love to see you guys booking trades. And we got Pathfinder in the house. What's up, Pathfinder in the house? We've been all over the charts. Very interesting in terms of the framework. One of the most solid days we've had. We're just coming off one of the most solid days. And hey, Cody's in the house. Cody, what's up, brother? Hey, Craig, what's up? Craig shouting out to Angel. Very nice to see that. I will let him certainly know if he is right here right now. But nice to see that in terms of the show up. Very nice to see you, Craig, shouting out to Angel. Angel hopefully will be here in just a second. I did specifically notify him we were going on. If he has the time, he will be here. I think he's got some family stuff going on, but hopefully he'll be right here. I just notified him of the stream. So in terms of VIP, let me plug into the chat just a little bit. We got Cody. Cody, man, we want you to upgrade to VIP. We're having a blast in the back, brother. You really, I could say that as much as you could believe it or not. We are having an absolute blast back there, and just I mean the technicals, the charts, etc. And I gotta tell you guys. Craig, it's nice to have you back there. Love to see the Fibonacci's, etc. We'll get into maybe some differentials today in terms of the you guys know any symmetrical triangle. Want to just throw this at you real quickly. You'll find this in the Murphy book, okay? In the it's funny, Murphy's Law, right? It's funny, we study in life Murphy's Law, you know, in terms of we won't discuss all of what Murphy's Law is, but in terms of a triangulation, so that you guys know there is a specified Fibonacci sequence that fits within it. That's what this Fibonacci wedge is for. I encourage you guys to go through just details on it where you don't have to get completely, and this is on the weekly time frame. I think that you'll find a lot of people are currently looking at this specific chart. We brought it, if you guys don't remember, a while back, and I'll tell you what tipped me off to it was a little bit of Ethereum. Okay, just the pattern framework of Ethereum. We're going to go through the details, but essentially this specified, and let me just shout out in here real quickly. We got Cody, boom. Well, we got Craig is in the house. That's right. Let me look at this in order here. Craig. These are VIPs, guys. Big deal. Appreciate you guys being in the back. It's fun to be a part of the group. I got to tell you, I am a member. Okay, I'm not just it's like the hair transplant thing. I'm not just a hair transplant president. I'm also a hair whatever that joke is. You guys know I'm also a client. You know, where the guy gets his hair done, he owns the place. Like, okay. The other day, I was I was talking with people like Cody, etc., and I was like, man, you got to get your badge. And you did. You stepped up, Cody. We're excited about that on Basecamp. You just don't know what all we got going on in the back, brother. I got to tell you, and anybody else who's listening. I mean, the charts back here are amazing, like incredible charts. Look at Slim, look at Pathfinder. Just new coins. We're looking through Ape, looking through built-in diagrams. Bam, with some of these charts coming in terms of the expectations, normal expectations of like a bull flag. What's the real definition of it? How many hits should it have? All the details in the back. So I'm just excited for 2022. It is definitely starting off really strongly. So just that high quality trader that we want in the back, just hugely beneficial. Let's go over the kind of the critical element right now, and you guys have seen this on my short videos. I'll tell you guys, I try and cut those short videos. It is not easy to do a short video with all the technical and everything else real quickly, no problem, and just get it out real smoothly. It is not easy, so I'm so happy to go live when I can, just to let you guys know that. It's really nice to go live. So in terms of this specific rising wedge. Now, I brought it up, and I know probably most of everyone who saw it is like, oh, come on. Come on, London. It's like it's from down here. Well, if you trade a lot, for a fact that these are recognized in the market. As you look at the details, this is on the hourly right now. Just look, trying to break out of that level of resistance on a rising wedge, that rising wedge. We'll go back to the weekly in just 1 second, but I want to cover kind of the urgent nature of what we're looking at right now. Okay, we have the intermittent high. Clearly, anytime you have an intermittent high, we can go ahead and say, bam, we have a threshold to pass through. No problem. That's easy stuff. Some of the more complicated patterns that you'll see herein, and we really went through today a double, I'd say almost like a double, or at least two complementary bearish patterns, okay? And I can definitely say that within the context here, we had a little bit of a jolt at the top. Talk about a bull trap, bear trap, trappy, period, okay? In terms of last night's, we'll cover the details in terms of how many fake outs can we get? It's literally like that. What I said on the most recent video was, why don't we once I book some solid trades, all in VIP to my subscriptions. Very, very cool. Line add VIP to my subscriptions. Man, and in terms of you booking trades, that's what I say. You don't know what you're missing in the back to help you book trades, is all I'll say, Cody. And we welcome you whenever you can get things put together. Let me just put that. Sometimes I'll speak into the phone, just voice to text, so it gets there. But yeah, Cody, we're going over trades all day long. That's all we're doing. So we welcome you in the back to see if you can start booking those trades as part of VIP. I'd be surprised if you couldn't. It's most people are able to work better with a good group. So yeah, we welcome you because you have shown up like that. You didn't have to just show up and say, fine, I'll do base camp. But yeah, and I wouldn't tell you otherwise. And in fact, I think if you don't like it, you just throw it away, throw the subscription away. Just don't get kicked out. That's the bad part. Just don't get kicked out. So in terms of, and I don't think you will, but quite a few have. Looking at this specific is very interesting, guys. Let's go through the specifics right now on this rising wedge. On the hourly, this is clearly demonstrated. I've drawn a red line here in terms of the preceding high on the hourly. And there's Craig saying you will make it with VIP. That's Craig. He's VIP telling you, Cody, that yeah, you'll book trades with VIP. If you're trying to book trades before you get in and this and that, yeah, I'd be surprised if you don't book trades in VIP. Craig's in the back all the time, and he's great with fibs. He's great with just technicals. I want to see what your approach was. You brought up ADA, I believe, before it really took off to the upside, along with I think Path and Slim also brought that up. But let's take a look at the one. So I encourage you to that effect, Cody. I mean, that's the ball game, brother. Stepping into it and just saying, okay, great. Let's give it a month, see what you got, and see what you got, because the guys in the back, they got it. And if you're trying to learn, I always say the only requirement is that you want to beat the market without a doubt. Look at this 1 hourly time frame. Very interesting. You might want to line this out on your specific desktops just to take a look at it. The preceding high right here. We're going to identify this preceding high, this element on the hourly chart. Not sure if I said daily, on the hourly chart for sure. That 42,551, bam. What we're seeing is that this ascending wedge right here on the hourly chart with this level of support and resistance is literally just bullseyed right into this specified level. So to the extent that you see these types of occurrences technically in the market, we always note them, okay? What is the market expressing to us essentially in terms of its the dynamics between the buyers and the sellers? Is this a respected line right now, this preceding high? We'll go to the candle wicks. We have gotten close to it, but we have not hit it yet. We'll go through all the specifics today and rewind in terms of the price action. Now, we're on the specified lines on the hourly. That shows the nice confluence here. Just really easy, straightforward stuff in terms of preceding high. Bam. Let me make this a little bit stronger so that you can see the analogy a little bit better. But the preceding high right? And then we have this function here with the line of resistance, that which the price cannot get up above, right? Until here, we have really tried to push up and above, and congrats to the bulls, guys. This is kind of a danger zone when we get in here. We pointed that out, right? And, it's interesting because we have achieved a bit more of price. We have respected this line so well, but this line of resistance, this line of support, that which is reinforcing the price along the bottom, acting as an entry, that which is prohibiting the price from essentially going up, which is being challenged, just literally nosedives right into it. The apex is on target with the specific red line, that same line at 42,551. So it's built into the framework right now. I'll tell you, with the trades ongoing in the market, it's already in the framework, as if it were programmed from or recognized clearly from these levels in here, down in the $37,750 range, which is nice to see when we're doing the technicals. When we see a confluence like this, when we see like a bearish pattern that's literally just with the apex right at that level, when we see these things, we just note them because for instance, when we look at, we were discussing something on BTC today, and I'll dig into the details just a bit. And just to remind, ascending wedge, typically bearish, is going to want to, and as I said, going to want to break down at some point. However, they have been known also, and people will try and trade these to the upside just a bit, right? It is well within the structure. It fits within the framework of trading. The more aggressive traders will, and the more I'd say the more accomplished traders, or the more maybe sophisticated level traders, will attempt at times to trade this level up and above resistance, sometimes up and through. You may get something in line with this, and you may get it back kind of to a perch here, boom, and you may decide thereafter the price would do something along those lines. Most of the time when I draw something out, I'll tell you, I do not like to draw things out, okay? I'm not one of these guys that's going to, fill in the room with, well, we're going to do this or we're going to do this. I really refrain from drawing where the price is going, aside from, and the VIP know this, aside from clear technicals, the probabilities. If the probabilities get beaten to the upside here, I'm fantastically excited. For me to say that this is a bearish pattern that we would expect downward pricing action, I'll bring up the possibility for us to beat this pattern. VIP do know of some of the ways that you can beat a rising wedge. The moment came today that was very interesting. Let me go ahead and dig into this portion of the video. I think it's a really nice portion of the video. If you're just showing up, hit the like button. Let me know that you're here. We'd appreciate a shout out. And let me see. Let's see. Pathfinder saying some charts in the back will get you 10 subscriptions in a week. There you go. That's Pathfinder saying that to you. Cody. Some of the charts in the back will literally pay for 10 subscriptions or maybe a year of VIP in a week. That's not. And Craig saying that's so true. You just got to hit the button, says Pathfinder. Hey. Very nice to see that. And, Cody is all in. Boom. And that's just, we see that all the time. People who get involved with VIP that do well. There's just a great group right now in VIP. To cover just yesterday briefly, we'll cover yesterday briefly. I have to note it was one of the strongest altcoin days we've had in a while. Some kind of randoms thrown in. All right, a few randoms thrown in. One of the Immutable X has done well. Audio's done well. You have your non-ETF coins. Then you have your ETF coins. Okay, so to measure, well, audio did really great. We don't have audio 3L or 5L with our trading setup. Some exchanges might, but audio flying up 40%. Is that better than a 5L coin flying up 10%? And you'll get into that discussion. We focus a lot on the ETF coins. Not that everything's traded on leverage. We enjoy accumulation at lower levels of the Fibonacci. But if you have, say, SHIB go up 10%, and you've got a 5L SHIB, it's like, well, that's it. It allows you to focus a bit more on the ones that could potentially really harness in, i.e., looking at Luna that went 20% or so. Was it last week before? Operates on a 3L. Clearly, there may be 5Ls out there, et cetera, for Luna. But not that everything is leveraged. What I will say along with that is never overexpose at a higher price. You guys know that in any one trade, okay? So looking at this level of resistance, we had this these two confirming bearish patterns today. One was this, and as you see it now, I mean, now everyone's like, yeah, we see it. It's just like, just literally grinding along this line here, this level of resistance. That is what that is what's holding us back. I'm going to say that, and that's what the bulls are pushing up against right now. So to recognize this structure right now, it's like if people didn't have this structure beforehand, they've got it now. It's just crawling the wall of resistance here, trying to go up and above, and it's exhibiting pressure to the downside. Very indicative, very trappy, but we'll talk about the first, to complete the thought, and I'm reading what you guys are writing while I'm talking a bit. Ape was a great day Friday morning. It was, Ape was fun, man. Ape was awesome. I have to say, it was great. It's stalled. It kind of got trappy itself and stalled, and I'm like, man, why can't we have price action like that every day? Just something to focus on. Like, it's a new coin, it's got a following, etc. Let's go. Really easy stuff. We like to trade. We like to day trade. We love price action, aggressive price action. That's the way to go. So, yeah, Craig, glad that you agreed. I'm really glad that you were able to trade that, Craig. Bam, just want to make sure, boom, that's in there. And in terms of, so we had this first primary ascending wedge, correct? Then we dug in. Let's get into this. It was, this will be a little challenging. I have the framework on a different OS, essentially. We got into a secondary, and it may be a little difficult to see or read right now. Let me get into the 5-minute. We got into a secondary rising wedge, and for the VIP in the back, they knew this, and we looked at it, and we're like, yeah, this could be kind of an issue here. It was along the lines, and I'll have to clean this up just a bit, in terms of the double, the double whammy that resulted in this this kind of throttle to the downside. We will review each and every pattern. As I do that, and I'll definitely review this additional rising wedge that we had formulated. And it was in line with this. This is what we had formulated, a secondary rising wedge that was breaking out up and above. Now it looks like it doesn't even fit right now, but none of this was here. Let's just look at this real quickly. None of this specific feature was here. Let me just cover this up real quickly with a box so that you can see a rotated rectangle. None of this was here. Okay, so in terms of the pattern and framework, as we dig in to discuss, kind of a dual indicated bearish feature, the market definitely took note of it. We can discuss where the pickup was, etc. But in terms of, and let me just blacken this out because then you'll really see exactly what's being discussed. This specific framework of this rising wedge, okay, which is now currently what we're buttressed up against with some volatility going into some lower levels of, you could say Fibonacci, yes, or lower levels of prior resistance. And I always say, and we'll go over Fan today. If you guys want to go over Fan live, we can do that in terms of the pattern framework of it. Very rarely used by retail, but a very a powerful reversal mechanism. So looking at this, we had trajected into a secondary wedge. And that was before we poured down out of that, a secondary wedge. Let me get a sip of coffee real quickly. Okay, thank you. To talk about that specified wedge above, okay, and trying to break out of, very difficult, guys. You gotta appreciate this. Trying to break out of an already existing bearish rising wedge. So, I'm not the one to call the brakes, put the brakes on, everybody, we're out. That's not me. But when we have on a lower time frame an ascending wedge, bearish, and we have an underlying bearish feature in the formulation of a larger or a secondary pattern that's already bearish, reinforcing that, it's indicative of, yes, there are two complementary bearish patterns. You can see that we clearly dropped out of this one, but the one thing is also the bulls are pushing right now, guys. They're really, we can say that because, looking at the volatility over the last week, we do not need to be that well reminded in terms of some of these absolute just pour downs. You guys remember when this was at a cross trend line of resistance? It didn't take much at all for this to head on down. You guys remember that one? It was that was a specific warning. That was one of the warnings that I brought to you guys in a video, just saying, warning, we were at a cross trend line of resistance. What was that cross trend line? May have been this. It was this specific cross trend line of resistance here. We brought with the level of support. It's on a different time frame. Let's go to the 4 hourly potentially on this 4 hourly. Maybe it was the 1 hourly. I'll have to look back at the video and reframe the technicals. But looking at this level of support with level of resistance, etc., we were at a cross trend line, and boom, you guys know very quickly it just completely collapsed to the downside. We've had so many. I just say clear instances of really quick collapse in the market. Very few of these moves to the downside were slow and methodical, with plenty of orders in between, buyers really stepping in along the way. This just has a little bit of a different. It's a bit choppy going up. The current price action is a bit choppy on the way up. You guys will agree with that. We haven't had that much velocity. To the extent that we've had velocity, they've been in short spurts, about 5% or so. We've been noticing about 5% instead of maybe larger moves that would, some of these moves, guys, were really phenomenal days. You remember a few of these days were 12%, right? 10 to 12%. It's like Bitcoin can move, right? When you're on a 5L, that's what we're talking about. So let's see what we got in terms of Yo, Slim. What you got, brother? This will be a quite, let's see, Pass signing in saying, this will be quite a surprise if it can beat the double wedge. Yeah. Ion Slim, what's up? The whole notion of just the change character of the pricing dynamic, just it bears our recognizing it, and not to just discuss kind of, on a real technical basis and get boring. I don't want to do that. I want to just discuss, like, literally, as a matter of fact, we just don't have these rifles, bam, to the upside, just bam, to the upside. Really, even this one, bam. We just don't have it right now. We're carving up and along, and the notion that we're currently along some resistance, were previously, and we're, I'd say, not only along a resistance, but we're filling out a pattern here with this bull flag in the middle. It's just indicative of kind of the challenge that we're expressing, but at the same time, kind of the strength that the bulls are putting into the framework of the market. Now, I would say this as well. We are, and if you think about the price action, let's rewind just a second. Let's put this into the framework of what's been going on. Now, you guys know on the 4 hourly, the low price target, bam, that was ours, right? So we go, boom, right here. That was ours on the 4 hourly. That specific lower target, the lower pivot on the 4 hourly, that was our pricing target. We had that for a long time, okay? Go heading on down, letting people know about that pricing target. It's the low in the market on the 4 hourly, that pivot. Now, the 50%, let's just mark the 50% off, boom. Okay, as we would look at the Fibonacci's overall, we can discuss the fact that, and maybe one of the reasons that we're a little bit choppier, or that extreme volatility has worn off just a touch. I do have the golden pockets down below. I told everybody I was going to put an arrow to it because it represents value. That was brought up to me as a great idea for the VIP. So yes, will it go there? We would hope it could get there. We have orders waiting. VIP have orders waiting. I guarantee you. Okay. In terms of the structure that we would look at, though, this 50% retracement is crucial in terms of the analysis. What are we doing, right? Why are we just kind of carving along? Where's the real heavy volatility? Right, so looking at these at the framework of the Fibonacci's, all I'll say is this right now. This is such a key level in terms of the 50% that we've had a lot of orders in this area right now. That may explain the original kind of nice move up, this original after a consolidation of bullish feature here, and bam, lower time frames, bull flag essentially here, telling you guys, get a position. If you didn't hit your target, get a position, right? If you guys remember that. In terms of the framework of the let's just look at this, but a nice hit. Now, this makes sense, guys. I want you to just pay attention to this within the context of that 50% retracement, that crucial 50% retracement. A lot of orders waiting at that level, so it's ready for some volatility. Boom, a lot of orders. Let's roll, right? Let's trade. Market's ready. Okay, you guys know the 23.6, 38.2, the 50, the golden pocket is just the 60, just say the 65th, okay? 65th and 786, and then the 86, our classic level. Now, this is a familiar level to the market as well for those who have been trading Bitcoin, because the 50% was through here. Now it was at a different level. Okay, it was at the preceding all-time high. You guys know that, okay? But that 50% is kind of a natural knee-jerk reaction, like we're retracing 50%, right? That's what the market has really gotten, just sunk its teeth into at this specified level, which has generated, okay, a lot of volatility. There have been enough orders to move price around to deliver those orders at a higher level, and have people exchange. I'd say not just Bitcoin, but also ETFs, etc. So that is one of the reasons for a nice move to the upside. You say, well, okay, well, what about the secondary move? Because we had some good volatility here in this secondary move as well. Well, then we get into a separate issue again with, I'd say, a greater degree of traders involved, people trading. And as we would look at, we can look on the 4-hourly is fine. We'll get into, though, the nature of just the Fibonacci's again. Right, we would get into something along the lines of, we could go to the candle wicks. Not sure exactly if I recall perfectly how we came into this, or did we hit? Yeah, we did hit again. That was right. Just to reframe this, because we were streaming live during this. That's exactly right. We were streaming live during this secondary hit to the 50%. So essentially, what we're looking at, and let me save that argument I was just about to make for these specific moves here. Right, we're on an interim basis Fibonacci in here. You guys know that, right? If we would draw to the candle wicks, essentially, and we could carve this out perfectly. I'm not going to do that right now, but the purpose is to discuss the fact that whereas we've been operating on the macro 50% retracement here. Boom, boom, right? Lots of volatility, lots of orders, right? Two bullish style features here, I'll just say, with a flag formation, not perfect, noted with defects, right? Noted with defects here, boom. Noted with defects here again, bam. But looking at that, we're sinking into the 50% and slingshotting up. Sitting in the 50% and slingshotting up. So that is a reason I think we've had a lot of volatility, and it's not unlike, for those of you who were around in 2021 or there before. We just referenced 2021. That's when it kind of hit mainstream, and we hit along with it. So looking at these levels of volatility, that was sinking down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits into the 50%. Tons of volatility. 35% volatility. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say 5 times between 25 and 30 to 35% in terms of those orders getting picked up and the pressure to push price. So that's what we had in these first two. While we look at just kind of review the last, let's see here, these last 60 days or so, that is why we had this nice volatility. Those two nice jolts to the upside, just beautiful range trades. We failed this bull flag to the top. We were trying to complete that to the upside. I don't buy that is a natural double top. That's a nicely, potentially formed, really something in the works in terms of something that could have been a nice bull flag. I tell you that could have been really, really nice with that amplitude. God, it could have been good, guys. We were measuring that, but as we get into the specifics here, we have the 1-2 punch here on the 50% retracement. Thereafter, we have a micro retracement. We have filed down and settled into a little bit in terms of these Fibonacci's just within this micro range. Okay, so some of the volatility has dissipated. Okay. So that's and you'll just see the stronger volatility. Boom. Secondary hit. Okay, a little bit less volatility. Bam, right? Now we're into this carving mode. Now we're carving, we're pushing, we're going, right? So to the extent that we'll also talk about some patterns in play which have accommodated this level of kind of etching along with the price action. What I will say is, you got your arrow, Pathfinder, no problem, without a doubt. And I guess I will say I appreciate you recommending that arrow at the golden pocket. And let's see here. Bam. Way to go, Pathfinder. Just a great idea. Just go ahead and draw the arrow down there. Sometimes the price will just go to the arrows. So if that occurs, we're going to give the credit to Pathfinder. Okay, that's going to be Pathfinder's deal right there. So he'll be happy to take the credit for it. Not many trade groups would be excited about that, but like, man, let's get the golden pocket. It'd be fantastic if we could. Looking at this, so you understand the macro dynamics, the macro targeting, right? Too, and I'll tell you, a lot of people that got in here from I'd say Main Street to Wall Street, they may have entered. They may be waiting. Okay, that's another component here. They may have entered at 50%. They may be waiting. there may be another strong entry point here of heavy traders familiar with this preceding 50% dynamic that got us back to the upside. What I would say is, to the extent that we're now operating instead of on the macro Fibonacci's, right? That 23.6, 38.2, the 50%, the golden pocket 78.6 and 86 at the bottom. To the extent that we're not operating on those macros any longer, we are now, I'd say, in a different state of affairs in terms of the market as we would look at the expectations for volatility, given the fact that, yes, a lot of people in this area are holding, and we've been operating on these lower, more compressed time frame, kind of intermittent Fibonacci's, right? These specific interval Fibonacci's instead of on the macro. So that's part of the story. I say along there with just trying to get through while we're watching some price action develop, and let's just review pricing for a minute. Down 0.5% to 41,990. We would discuss some of these issues. I think it's a good idea for us to do that while the price is kind of developing a bit, just to reframe where we're at. And I know altcoins are buzzing, right? I know there's a lot going on in altcoins. Let's check them real quickly. Let me delve over to my Binance list, and MBL again, huh? MBL again, OMG again, huh? Just screaming, huh? Qtum, this, that. Okay, so yeah, MBL up 9, IMX up 9. Let's see what we got. I mean, just if that chart continues to push up, if movie block continues to push up, that's a phenomenal run with a lot of risk and something you definitely wanted to trade. IMX, yeah, could be looking nice. It's a nice up and out for IMX. It's up 9. Each of those. OMG, been on the radar. It's doing well. These are on the 4-hourly chart just to kind of review. A lot of these are low, guys, like super low on their 78.6 or their 86. So the buyers are really hoping this can go for another run here. It's kind of a crucial point. It is a crucial point, not kind of. It's a very crucial point for the entirety of the market. The coins like Phantom, since I just clicked on it accidentally, that's okay though. Some of these coins have fallen out of a specified preference in terms of really 2 specified preferences. We would have expected that would have been nice to hold, right? Secondary preference, we would have liked this to hold. Yeah, we're getting into some questions here, as you know, we don't want the Phantoms, Cosmos, Harmony One, etc., that batch of coins trading on ETF. We don't want those to dribble on down to the 78.6 necessarily and just hang out around the 786 or the 86 for too long. Okay, because we really haven't seen the expression. I'll just say this. We haven't seen the expression of this type of a pattern framework that is on Phantom right now. We haven't seen what the market's going to show us in terms of the coins that have reacted well in Q4, right, in the fourth quarter to the first quarter here of this is all new price action. It's negatively correlated. This is happening while Bitcoin is down. So these kind of M-top formations, potential still potential risers as you would look at Cosmos if it can hold maybe an ascending triangle. But any of the coins that you're looking at between Harmony One, Phantom, Cosmos, etc., that had that big run up while Bitcoin was retracing, we're looking to see what the market's going to exhibit in these coins. So I'm very much paying attention to these because they're solid coins, and the technology's there, the dev group, the management, etc. All the bells and whistles are there on the coins, and I'm just keeping a watchful eye on these. Okay, just in terms of the overall market dynamics, and I talk about more of the ETFs as opposed to maybe all the coins. I mean, there's a lot of coins. Doge in the house. I have to say Doge. What's up with Doge? I have to go over this. I like this a lot. Where is our? You know what? Did I only share that? I may have only shared that. I think I only shared that that specific chart with VIP. Let's see. I did. I was so excited to see this Doge complete to the upside. Boom. You guys got this in the back, but I was like, it's going up, it's going up, it's going up, and boom, we had a nice move to the upside. So all I got to say is way to go on Doge. All right, we'll talk about SHIB here in a second, too. I'll get back to Bitcoin in 2 seconds. Doge, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Kick back up in there. give them a nice flag to work with something else on a lower time frame. Not perfect. There you go. Switch to the 5-minute, get a little bit better look at Doge. We've traded Doge so much, guys. Live streaming, we love trading Doge. It's just fun. It's just a lot of fun, especially when it's really when everybody's streaming, when everybody's here, when it's just it's like we're running on jet fuel in terms of the overall price action, etc. We just enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it, and it has produced a lot of money. Sheeb, same way, guys. Sheeb is no different. Let's check in on Sheeb. That's a nice move from that ascending triangle and a great pickup. But look from the bottom, from that 86, around that 86, huh? Actually, and it had the first hit off that 86, which some VIP picked up on that. I think Pathfinder in the house. That was a 25% move. On spot, that's fine, depending upon your specific move. This about half that. Very interesting. Now, we'll discuss this in the framework, a 25% move, then about half that, a 12% move. What we'll discuss in the context of, I'll come back to Sheeb in 1 second, in the context of kind of a decreased amplitude, like multiple hits at the same level of Fibonacci. We have seen several altcoins that have trajected and just decided to scream, right? They've just decided to scream to the upside out of this generalized pattern, in addition, let's say, to what Doge has done. Not to neglect Doge. I mean, I'm just going to be a fan of something that a lot of people are positive about, okay, and that has a decent, cool culture to it. We're fans of Elon, too. He's a cool dude. So that goes without saying. And I don't understand the people who like Doge and hate Bitcoin. It's like, you know what? It's like, but they love Elon. It's like, come on, man, just get you some Bitcoin, get you some Doge, chill out, and let's trade. So, looking at the framework, we were going to we discussed that 50%. Let me dial back into this secondary set of charts here. We discussed that 50% hit. Bam, nice volatility. Bam, nice volatility. So, what I'm saying is now we're in this secondary. Let's say this smaller interval, not in the macro. And this is worth us talking about. And I'll incorporate some of the altcoins as we go through kind of the discussion. And this is just based on everything we've been doing in the back and just kind of a market review. It's the weekend. It's Saturday, so we might as well kind of go through, and maybe some cool things will pop up in the midst of this as well. So looking at this macro retracement did the trick, right? The macro retracement here on the 50%. There we go. Hitman. What are you doing, Hitman? What are you doing, man? Hitman. Golly, it's been a while, Hitman. I had no idea Hitman was around. Hitman, we miss you in the VIP. Brother, what is going on? I hope you're doing well, Hitman. Hitman's an old VIP. He just shows up. Says he likes anything that makes him money. You need to be back in VIP. I got to tell you, brother, you don't even know what's going on back in VIP. We got a trade group, brother. Hitman's a boxer, etc. He's a cool guy. VIP in 2021. We're excited to have you back here just a moment while you're kind of, I don't know, maybe brushing up on technicals. Not sure what you're doing. You're probably trading. You need to rejoin VIP immediately. We miss you, brother. There we go. I'm going to say that to Hitman. There we go. So we'll put that in the comment there for Hitman. He's a good guy, and we were excited to get to know him in 2021. Looking forward to 2022. And looking at the volatility. Okay, we have the two hits. What we're going to get into now is the discussion as to the secondary framework. What are we down just a touch here? I got to take that black box off the chart. That looks odd, doesn't it? We do not like that. That looks odd, huh? If you trade a lot, you just don't like that, do you? I guarantee you, if you trade a lot and you're looking at that just does not look good. I was describing these two features, this double feature here, in terms of the rising wedge that we fell into. Just to recap, as we're getting a little bit of price action here, but this rising wedge that price fell into, and I hid this so that you could appreciate what VIP and I were looking at earlier on today in the back. Right, this rising wedge feature here with the resistance and the support was just carving in, trajecting up to this line. We were in this area and boom. So we caught that drop in the back. In terms of the pattern framework, I'll say the pattern framework, we definitely caught that in the back. So discussing let's say that specific rising wedge in line with the secondary rising wedge, both bearish features, right? So, but bulls are pushing up. So we're discussing the framework of this etched in more difficult pricing that we're experiencing right now as Bitcoin's down 0.75 to $41,884. We're discussing it in the framework of just the kind of the supply and demand function alignment with the technicals. I think within a reasonable framework of our digesting each of those, and not including necessarily, I'll just say this, in terms of like worldwide events, war, etc. This was the Ukrainian fallout. Again, you all know this. Yes, that was when the Ukraine war began with the Russia-Ukrainian issue. And I'm not going to comment on the entirety of that. We're going to trade. As I discuss this, okay, as we would discuss this specific hit down at the 50%. Yes, there was a worldwide event. You could call that just, a kind of a phenomenal event to impact the market. But where did it hit? It hit right onto the 50% retracement. We were live during that, right? So, I mean, you can say, well, you could either look at it as a problem or a benefit, right? Some people say, well, we would have preferred to just have gone up from there. Well, you would have made 17%. As it was, if you had orders waiting, you made, instead of 17, you made 30%. So as you recall, the first level here was maxed out at 35, right? So we'll discuss this, okay? 30, and really was that over 35? Let's look closely. 39.62%, okay? 39.62 from our specific target. That's right, from our target was 35.96, about 36%. So that 30. Let's call it 35 plus. Okay, 35% plus to the secondary hit here would be the 32, just a little bit less, right? And not underperforming so much in terms of, but you guys know this has been a feature of it as well. An underperformance. She dug a little deeper. Bitcoin dug a little deeper, went a little higher, then picked up at that 50%, then went a little. Then failed, essentially a swing failure. If you're looking at a higher low, barely, but then a lower high. Okay, so we've been unable to express movement up and above to conquer that preceding high. And so as we talk about the macro, you guys get this now, right? Macro, we had the macro 50% played twice like a bell, just bam, bam, right? Very nice. Now we're on the micro features. Okay, we've been and this is just what's been expressed in the market, what the market's been willing to pick up from the buyers, between the buyers and the traders. So this specific micro feature of the fib, just getting into it, we can align that better again. Just to comment on that, we're not going to do that for these purposes. It's not an accuracy demonstration. It's just to discuss the kind of the diminution or the lower amounts of volatility. Strong moves, boom, to the upside. Strong move, bam, bam, to the upside. Even here, boom. I mean, these are big moves, guys. Bam, bam. Those are nice moves over the last 54 days. We had one here, boom, to the upside, right? Then we got into a little bit of a framework of a limitation as we formulated the upside of this particular rising wedge. These moments were gone, right? When we looked at, like, we're Bitcoin spikes, so we like the spikes. We like 10%, 12%. We want it to roll, right? We want to, we want to be there when it flies up. That's the whole idea. So looking at these nice strong moves up, we have somehow we've lost that in the pricing. So, and I'll just say this, to the extent that that is a feature of these lower level fibs and some more micro trading that seems to be going on. If you're looking, let's say this, if you're looking for the huge trade right now and everybody wants to go all in, that's it, boom, this is the time. I'm just going to tell you to have some patience, okay? Because that mentality will cost you money, okay? From my experience, now, one out of 30 or 40, 50 times that you pull the trigger, you'll get it. If you're real good, maybe you can do that a little bit more than say 2 to 5% of the time. We're around a lot of traders, guys. So what I'll say, that experience or that inclination can hurt you. Okay, it can hurt you as we're looking at I'd say lower levels of volatility, and you're trying to make a big move, right? Because it's going to cost you sometimes just to get in and out of the trade. Okay. Some other issues like that. As we'll talk about, let's go back to the weekly now and reframe the overall larger pattern here as we look at a potentially just monstrous, nice double bottom here. It's more reinforceable really than the double top that we had on the weekly, and you guys know that's phenomenal. Looking at the specific, let's go through this. Looking at the specific pattern that it demonstrated earlier, and I'll go back to the Ethereum issue because I did have an Ethereum kind of setup that I wanted to go through. But this specific triangulation is a big deal that we're going to discuss in terms of that the lower volatility. So 2 seconds. All right, just a little coffee. Okay, in terms of this specifically indicated triangulation, I'm gonna reinforce the notion of this with the following, okay, on the weekly, just so that you understand, like, what's the componentry thereof. Why would you say that instead of just a double bottom? Okay, the answer would be the following: this specific angulation right here on the weekly, bam, do you see that? That specific angulation here lets me know something's going on there, without a doubt. Okay, so that's an important angle as we assess this rising level of support. Always pay attention to these angles. I'm gonna tell you guys, like, big time. When we looked at this specified pattern previously on the falling wedge, and believe it or not, guys, this was a heck of a call, guys. I'm going to tell you guys that. And you had to look at it, okay? And it always took me, when I was drawing this out earlier in 2021, it would take me so long to align this because it just didn't want to snap to it. I'll tell you, but in line with, and this is really how I determine, okay, this is a falling wedge. This is a bullish structure. What was it on the weekly chart that gave me that indication at 30,000? What was it, guys? It was the angles here on the actual price line. Okay, so aligning that the best I could, and it was a challenge to align this one here with the pivot, etc. Right? TradingView just didn't quite want to, and this is what it would do. Every time I would try and really align or pull this down, I don't want that sticking out. Every time I would do it, it would make me redo it. So there's a limitation on it, but pay attention to those angles. All right, that's literally that's the ball game in 2021. That retrace, boom, to the upside was and that's the trick, right? If it's screaming to the upside, if we're in a bull run, everything's going up, let's go. That's as I think of Angel, he's seen it, fly from $150 to 2 cents to literally to 2 cents, guys, back up to $150 to he's got 779 carved out. Can you imagine the market at that standpoint when it was just going down to like 2 cents? Like, I'm supposed to buy more of this stuff back in the day, right, when it was just coming out. So real interesting in terms of that dynamic. But that's the crucial time. If you can catch this on the rebound at the right price, boom. That's really what the like our pricing target here on the 4 hourly. Like, it's crucial to be able to do that. So yes, we want to be able to call this specific breakout right now. We have this red line here. I'm going to leave that there for a second so that we understand on the weekly with this angulation here. Just want you to be comfortable with the fact that we're operating in this symmetrical triangle with a potential breakout. We'll see this coming week. Where do we hitch here? Where are we headed here? The notion that we could require a confirmation here is the most disastrous notion that I know of. Okay, and I'm going to bring that up only for the following reason. As I'm talking about a decrease in volatility, pay attention to this, please. The notion that we would need to reconfirm upon a prior or implied level of resistance and then move to the upside, we do not want to go through that. Okay, I'm going to tell you, because we like to trade a lot unless altcoins are literally flying. Okay, because when the price action becomes like this, and I'll give you some appreciation for the market in 2021 retracement down to the 50%. This was one of the most slow and painful number of days that you could possibly imagine if you're going to talk about carving, etc. Just slow carving price action until it would finally drop, right? But that was 2 weeks to 2 to 3 weeks in this zone overall, but 2 weeks of just real solid, slow, nothing's moving, right? So and we did find that in the back, that ascending triangle, small little baby ascending triangle. So to the extent that we're looking for this this all-in approach or this big trade, because everyone wants to know, are we going bull, right? And within the context of the I'm going to say this, it's just on me to discuss the fact that we're not just rifling to the upside. Okay, that's a part of what is going on right now. Okay, the framework as it would look at, it looked for the recovery, okay, in 2021, and some people told me they did not want me using the word recovery. I had VIPs wanted me to call them or something, had to talk to me about don't use the word recovery. I'm like, do what? I was like, what's wrong with you, man? He's not here anymore. Nice guy, but he's like telling me what to tell people about a recovery. I'm like, look, man, I haven't said a word about going up the entire time here. I'm going to say it, right? So in terms of that notion here, it's just a little bit different because we had consolidated here, then bam, we had some price action. It was just really clear and evident that bulls were on. That was it. Here, we really started with the velocity. We had that anticipation. In terms of potential move to the upside from our pricing target in the 4 hourly, we had the lowest target period. Failing this bull flag was a big deal. right? I mean, you have to look at this. It was a really big deal in the market to fail that particular bull flag. Okay, that could have been like a really nice entry. Now, to the extent that we had still underperformed, and we'll just talk about this. I want to put this in context in terms of our upside targets. When do we get the velocity? When do we get the, and that's really up for discussion. When does the velocity return? Okay, because it slowed down a bit. This velocity, very nice. This velocity, very nice. This velocity, and you guys know, I don't talk about it much. I was privately trading it. You guys probably were too. This velocity, we'll take that, right? Just beautiful moves in Bitcoin. In terms of the current nature, it's just the sideways price action, the range. We'll just discuss the range, right? 60 days or so sideways. We've been through this period of time here, okay? And we're going to want some strong volatility up and out of this pattern, okay? I'm just going to tell you, this whole inch along, cinch along, it's kind of like the crypto check is in the mail and you never get it. It's like, come on. We need some volatility here. We need some velocity. Not only do we need to conquer this 100 and the 200 moving average, but it's just as I operate right now, and you can call me incorrect, but from a bullish standpoint, we want some volatility, particularly while the altcoins are sizzling and really, starting to take off. Some of them 40%, at least 30%. Some moves up to 50%, like in their own. And I'll say this: someone asked a good question earlier to me after a video and said, as you see altcoins start to pump, does the money go to the altcoins instead of to Bitcoin? I showed them the Bitcoin dominance chart, right? I referenced that Bitcoin dominance chart. But in terms of what could provide the skyrocket move, right? This is what we're going to need. And as you look at this, it's like, okay, we have a triangulation here. There's an embedded level here with this level of support that's respected, okay, and this is from the weekly carryover. It's very, very clear. We have other patterns right now. The nature and the degree to which we were to set, I'll just tell you, to where I'm going to say we need some type of a launch pad, right? We need some pattern to operate as a launch pad right now, or a key feature of the specified, I'd say the specified an area of extreme accumulation, the 50%. That provided it here, bam, provided it here, bam, nice moves. And now not originally here. It got down to our lower target here and then really started to slingshot up, okay? But we're going to need either the pattern or the heavy level of target accumulation. We're going to have it. I mean, I don't see a framework other than potentially a major news development, okay? Aside from maybe there's a major, and we'll be prepared for that, but as we look at the technicals to describe to us, like when will we moon? When will we launch, right? When will we get into some aggressive price action here that it's going to be, because you don't want to miss it, right? Fair enough. If we're going to talk about something on the weekend, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to sit there and get in 15% late and be chasing a trade. Like I always say, it's like you walk into the wrong party and like the music stops and everything's like, oh, but no, I just got my trade. It's going up. You walked into the wrong party. It's not your party. They stop the music, they turn it off, and you got to take off, right? So we don't want that to happen, because that dynamic happens to so many people when you're behind the curve on Bitcoin or any coin, any investment. You'll walk into the party, you'll go ahead and join in, and bam, you'll become a part of the trade, and then the price action, and boom, it'll start to move against you, right? So we're going to be very much on top. Let's see what we have here. Pathfinder saying the golden pocket would be a nice launch pad. Okay, I'll stop. Copy that. It would be. I'm going to say one of the best. And at some point, required. At some point. And we'll see if Bitcoin can prove us all wrong, but people who trade a lot is like, no, at some point it's going to go to the golden pocket. At some point. And people who are involved from the higher levels will be like, not able to believe it. Again, outside world events, etc., could definitely help accomplish that. This upper level right here, okay? That upper level right here is an interesting level to discuss. Let's get into the framework of this here. Let me draw another, let's see, into a horizontal line here. We've had these discussions a bit. And in terms of this kind of choppy framework here, I'll put that into context as well to explain why we've been moving like this a little bit more. Not only the kind of the micro intermittent fibs, but some different let's say some different, it's a horizontal ray. This should be, there we go. So we have, as you guys know, part of the process here maybe have been some consolidation at what we would say, if you trade Bitcoin a lot, if you trade it, you know, Bitcoin likes to pick up at the intermediary or the preceding levels of support that traders like to pick up. All right, it's kind of one of the if you trade enough Bitcoin, you kind of know if you trade Bitcoin because it's a preceding low. We don't talk about it much. It's real simple, right? If you trade a lot of Bitcoin, you're going to know that's one of the pickups right here. Bam. All right. Well, that's another one of the strong pickups right there. Bam. Picked up multiple times. Again, if you trade Bitcoin, you know these things. Not just on like, let's say, the larger time frame, the hourly, on the lower time frames. If you're trading Bitcoin on the lower time frames, as you start to consolidate in here, you will see so much of a preceding level of support pickup. You will miss the boat if you do not pay attention to it. I mean, absolutely, you will be stranded. You'll miss the boat. You'll wonder, how is everyone booking those trades? Preceding level of support, hugely indicated on Bitcoin, frequently. All right, you guys know that. So, looking at some of the price action to delve into that established level of support, nicely done. Formulating, and at some point we had to formulate this specific pattern to be broken out of, which we have broken out of. Getting up and out of this pattern was not difficult with the ascending triangles, micro ascending triangles. If you guys remember us catching these features in here, and you can just look back at them, you remember exactly, just boom. All right, ascending triangle with the inverted head and shoulders. Remember, inverted head and shoulders on the candle wicks, play to the top, boom. Yeah, there we go, bam. The this here in terms of the ascending triangle here on the lines, bam. Right, with a strong slam back down. Remember the micro ascending triangulation on the lower time frame down into here. And remember that scale back, bam. I mean, we had a lot of good trades this last week, guys. It's been a lot of fun last week to 2 weeks. It's been a rush. It's been good. Huh? I'm hyped about 2022. I hope they keep throwing the price action at us. So to discuss this price action, why are we just so volatile right now without a huge expression, kind of a liftoff? Part of it is we've had a few nested patterns, right? A nested, I'd say, with the ascending triangle, enough said. Even a micro ascending triangle at a lower level, enough said. VIP, no, exactly why. That's going to create some of the volatility in an edged fashion. Target to the upside, right? We're going to have a target to the upside and the downside on every one of those. Truth, nearly every one of those. I'm going to say, and I keep saying, you notice this, VIP, no, it's like nearly, nearly every one of them. And you'll remember, I think I brought, I think we're on par for like shooting a perfect 100% from the free throw line on that. It's close, guys. So the ascending triangle, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, there's some unique dynamics to an ascending triangle, real unique dynamics. If you don't trade a lot, just be careful in your exposure to the upside on an ascending triangle. That's all I'll say. They play great. It's good for hot hands. Like I say, Jackie Chan hands. You got to have Jackie Chan hands in terms of getting in, potentially getting out as well. So let me read the comments real quickly. Okay. We're good on the comments. You guys shout out if you need to. Hopefully Angel is around soon. Hope he's doing well, extremely well. I think he's busy with some family. He shot me some cool videos. I told you his daughter can play basketball like good gosh. When I show you guys the video, you'll be like, if he lets me, you'll be like, are you kidding me? It looks like it's a doctored up. I mean, it's one of those videos you would see on YouTube or something, and she just keeps shooting, and she just keeps making it. Literally just bam, 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 bam. She's I don't know, 4 or 5 years old. She's so young, and she's at one of those kid games with in the like Chuck E. Cheese or something with the basketball hoop, and she just can't miss the thing. It's just like an automatic. It's just funny looking. So it's amazing looking, really, to just say that. But I've never seen anything like that. It's like it almost looks like a doctored up video, but it's not. It's really cool. So he may be with Fmr right now, and I chatted with him a little bit earlier today. He's doing well. He's excited about 2022. He's booking some trades on. I'll let him tell us when he gets here. He's doing well on a few coins, very well. So looking at the specified price action here, some of the stodginess is coming from, yes, bullish patterns, ascending triangles, and it's interesting because we've been tested on them, and this is an interesting feature here too, guys. Let's pay attention to this. This is VIP. Check this out, guys. Okay, in terms of the ascending triangles, this has been a clinic on ascending triangles. Everybody knows where we're going right now. Check this out. Ascending triangle. You bet it. And what happened? Boom. Nice move to the upside. Had to go to the candle wicks on this one, right? Ascending triangle, right? Now, in terms of the move to the upside, beautiful, beautiful. And remember, quote unquote, yeah, you might want to retest this prior level of support or prior level of resistance as support. Show me a level of prior resistance, I'll show you orders waiting. So indeed, ba-boom, right? Then the Ukrainian situation, then down, right? Then we had an ascending triangle, right? And then what happened? Well, we're up, we're out, and this one was a full-fledged, this was the full-scale invasion in terms of just like a full-scale warning here was, check it out, guys, you're going to go back down there. And everyone was like, yeah, okay. And then boom, you guys got that, right? So then two ascending triangles. So this has been the clinic on ascending triangles that the market's given us. Then we had a micro one here, little micro ascending triangle. To the upside, pattern completion in line with a combined ascending triangle and inverse head and shoulders. Target was to the inverse head and shoulders and outperformed a bit. If you traded, you'll remember that, right? And what do we know? Well, here we go again. Boom, right? So looking at, and actually the inverse head and shoulders may have been on this. We'll recover that in if we need to in 1 second, because I see this move to the upside here. We started to have, as you guys recall, we started to have these ascending triangles with the expectation of, well, we're to the upside, and boom, we're down below. Then we're forming one up in here, and we're to the upside, and boom, every single one we've had to catch. Every single one. It's been increasingly complicated the way in which they have been presented to us. If you've been trading, you know that. If you've been paying attention to the technicals, without a doubt, you guys know in VIP, etc., and the base camper is probably, if you've been trading, but this is one of the advantages of being in VIP in the back, because we're able to discuss these things. It's just, you know, it is just, it's been a really interesting dynamic to watch how the exchange or how the traders have come together and formulated the different combinations of the ascending triangles, pattern within pattern, a nested, let's say an interior ascending triangle with an exterior ascending triangle, one that is a bit slanted, one that has a little bit of a deviation, one that you can't quite find a flat top. Some of them have just wanted to kind of show up like this, etc. It has been a clinic on the market, on the participants, the ones that have paid attention. This area in here has been unbelievable, right? Technically, it has been unbelievable. So if you had to, I mean, literally, guys, we could sit around for a while and just shoot the conversation around about how we could complicate the market dynamics that were thrown to us here and here. You guys know we could sit around for a while. Some of you guys are really smart, so we would have come up with ideas like this very easily. But the explanation of this pricing action is really it may be difficult to just simply explain to someone having traded all of this. You guys know it's been extremely complicated technicals based upon the preceding number of weeks here and the clear-cut dynamics that we're getting on a very as we would talk about, kind of a very relaxed basis, very easy flowing in terms of the time frame, no problem, back down. Easy going, a little bit more compressed right here, boom. Now we have a really compressed one here, and they've started throwing these at us, the technicals at us, and mixing and matching them a lot more intensively in this area. It's been a lot more technically, because, I mean, it's not that there's been, you guys know this, the ones who have traded. It's been more technically robust and compressed, condensed, whatever you want to call it, aggressive. It's been technically aggressive in this zone. Like, this is a primer. It's almost, honestly, if you guys have been, then the ones who've been trading, you'll agree, it is almost as if literally the top market participants in the world decided, okay, this month we're going to do a participant for all of our traders. We want all of our traders to start off here. And I'm telling you guys, if the top market participant in the world, the top exchange or the top investment bank in the world could have orchestrated this to demonstrate, okay, we're going to show some dynamics in terms of pattern conformance, etc., with the ascending triangle. We're going to allow that to formulate. And I'm going to tell you one thing. For the people who were ahead of the curve, Like, and not just, okay, we figured this one out. We don't want to be in the zone of, okay, I just figured this one out. We want to know that way back here, right? We are way back over here, right? We want to know that information like way over here, right? That's the type of information that when you show up and you're late, it's just the market's already beaten you, right? It's just in terms of the return to functions. Like if you're soft on that, it's been difficult to be soft on that to the extent that those dynamics do change. You can't say that they won't change. You guys that have been, very plugged into the market in VIP in the back, and base campers, etc., subscribers, you can't say that it won't change, but it just hasn't at all. But it's been a real complication. It's like we've gone through phase 1. Okay, everyone passed. Phase 2, everybody passed. Phase 3, let's really start to throw it at them. Okay, most people pass. Phase 4, okay, it's like everybody's ready for this. It's almost like a trader. You guys know this. A trader, like a complex, like I think like what is it? A combine. Where they go and say military structuring or otherwise. They'll let's go jump into the combine, do our our level 1, level 2, level 3, level. It's almost at that level in terms of the level of compression that has been brought in, the complexity that's been brought in terms of the patterning. And that's not me, like hot dog and TA or anything else. It's been nice along the way here. It's been a nice intellectual challenge, a technical challenge, and it's been we have the right group to go through it because all of you understand it, and that's I talk about could the top trade group around throw all their traders into it, and there'd be guys there that would get it, right? All the VIP get it. We've been trading. We understand. It's like, no, we had we understand the complications that it presented, and we took it on as a challenge. It was nice. In addition to this specific descending triangulation, you'll recall also that we had, just to reframe the technicals a bit, we had this extra level of complication, right? So some of the patterning, some of the volatility, etc. We saw this today in terms of the attempted breakout or retracement back into this specific wedge, okay? And we did talk about the fact it likes to dance around a little bit up and above and then capitulate back down into. We discussed that frequently. You guys know a rising wedge. You guys know how they trade. But the challenge right now, 2022, is the lines to the candles, in addition to the complexity of the patterns, okay, and the formation, the way that they're presented. We've had the lines, we've had the candles. Then we have essentially the lines interacting with the function that exists on the candles, right? That you have to understand. Well, this is a secondary kind of, that was that hidden level of resistance conquered by that specified. It's just they're nice technicals, guys. I mean, if you look at this, they're just really nice technicals. This secondary, kind of the secondary fulfillment portion of the the secondary level. I don't want to call it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to call it, but maybe if you call it the 1, 2, the third wave up, 3, 4 wave potentially. But I don't want to put necessarily a limitation on this. But viewing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if you've looked at this issue a lot on your own, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't want to be at a 5. Okay, if you do, you want one that will extend to a 6, 7. Rare. Okay, without a breakout. I say without a breakout. Okay, so the ultimate question: when will we get back to the volatility? Right? After discussing this in depth, you guys understand what an easy question, right? What an easy thing to figure out, huh? Like, you understand as things have progressed here, it gotten a little bit more challenging, and we understand the technicals. We'll throw around, it might go here or it might go there. I really don't know in the back, and there was they know where it's going in terms of some of these, some of the TA that's brought up here. Some of these have a default, kind of a default accompanying price action to them. They just do. And that's what VIP has excelled at in the back. I'll just tell you that in terms of extrapolating that probability to a near certainty is what we try and operate on. It's, hey, there's always risk in the market. You guys know that, i.e. Ukraine fall down. But the certainty of a great place to have your orders, the 50%. So in between the buy it, support, sell it resistance, the trade your patterns and hit your targets, there's going to be a certainty lock on that at some point. There's some, the highly probable portion of that equation between the support, the resistance, the patterns, and the targets. There's something in that equation that should bite, right? That you should be able to hammer into, right? Let's see what we got. Let's see. All of that looks as if it's inside a large triangle. Hey, what's up? Next Level Up. We welcome you to join our. Sounds like you're a technical guy. We have a VIP. You'll notice everybody in the chat has a badge, and we would welcome you to join our group. We are we have Angel, top of our group. He kind of leads VIP. He is he invested in Bitcoin at $7.79, and this is London. Is my channel, and you're welcome to join our group. We have teams in the back doing all kinds of great stuff in terms of consistent frameworks of TA, etc. It's not new stuff. Like, it's not for new guys. To the extent that you are brand new, the requirement is that you want to beat the market. Okay, so blue collar or white collar, we just want you to be able to beat the market. We focus on New York Institute of Finance, essentially New York Institute of Finance. Okay, and founded by the New York Stock Exchange in 1922. Okay, we focus on crypto. Period. That's the name of the game. Some old Doge guys, alt guys, and of course Angel involved in Bitcoin at $7.79. So we welcome you to join VIP. That is your official welcome and invitation to join. And so in terms of the kind of the structuring, the dynamic of the lines to the candle wicks, that's provided for some additional compression or volatility. I'd say differentials as we got into the potentially into the complexity of the additional. I say the additional. What would we say? Just that additional complexity. What would we say? That because what I want to say is we've had the notion that we've had to pay attention to the candle wicks and the lines, and I'm talking about the technicals from a very high level right now. We are as technically involved as you're going to find I promise you, anybody on the on YouTube, okay, or on the internet. That's just and if you find someone else that's more technically involved, you let us know. We'd love to know who they are. We'd be happy to know who they are. But I've worked with a lot of traders, and yeah, we got the goods right now. So the differential between the candle wicks and the lines is pertinent, relevant to the degree that it has also caused a bit of this choppiness here recently, right? And I'm looking for this. Where is the launch pad? Right, where is the launch pad right now in terms of putting together the framework of a big trade for 2022 to start off the year right? Where is the launch pad, right? We're going through the dynamics both, I say in the last 60 days and in comparison to 2021. Even we go through 2020 a bit, but this more, just look how smooth and drawn out this is here. Nice and smooth, no problem, nice and smooth. More aggressive, right? More aggressive. Boom, boom, boom. So now we're in this ultra aggressive phase here where we're trying to make upward progress. We are trying to find that launch pad, but we've been at continual levels of resistance thus far. I will say this, is that we've compressed here and we're either up against, this does make sense, what we would say. A bit from the home front. Oh, good. Do you catch the nice move? Jasmine, that was a fun one. Yeah, we've been in the back catching a bunch of great moves all around. In terms of Jasmine, that's an old coin for us. You need to talk to the big guy on top there about Jasmine. He's a big fan. So, and I appreciate when things settle down. You let us know. All right, you let us know when things settle down. Next Level Up, and if you just let us know when you'd like to join. And I'll just keep this just out of respect for VIP in terms of the chat framework. Next button you need to hit is to join VIP. And if you're trading, it's $100 a month or something. You can try and book a trade for $100. I challenge you to do that in VIP. I challenge you to hit the button, join VIP, and see if you can up your game in 2022. Invitation kindly provided to you right now, respectfully, okay? Hope everything is great with you in 2022, and best wishes if you decide not to join us. That'll be that until we see you light up the screen and you decide to join. So in terms of the it says exclusive on top, so we keep the chat exclusive for VIP. That's my role here. In addition to, you guys know me, Harvard Business School, Duke University, certified in markets, former financial professional, and we dig into the stuff. We love to trade. Looking at the framework here, we were also, for notable sake here, we were running into a clearly identified level of resistance here. So in terms of the choppiness, we had this level of resistance here, bam. We also had all of the different time frames. Fair enough that we had all the different time frames in here to get up and above this level, whereas in previously, we had nice boom moves to the upside, right? Bam, nice boom moves to the upside, bam. Interim Fibonacci level here, right? Not on the macro, interim Fibonacci level here. Would make sense that maybe we did perform a bit less after not picking up heavier orders at the 50% macro again, right? I think that's reasonable to anticipate, but bam, a little bit of a less of a throttle on this specific move here, right? Patterning along that Fibonacci level. We can go through the details, and then here, once we're trying to formulate something, we're getting into this anticipated on the different time frames, a differentiated level of resistance. Thus, orders a little bit more sporadically placed along in this level, right? And I think that's probably the best diagnosis that I can give in terms of the market right now and why we've been real choppy up and through here. Because this has not been necessary. It has been fun. Okay, to tell you the truth, for those who know your patterns and are trading them, this has been fun. But you have had to be prepared, not only for this line of resistance on the hourly, but on every single line of resistance on every single time frame. I'm not going to go through and draw them all right now. You guys know we've done that, right? There's a lot of, it throws you into a lot of chop. Okay, so, and just upon the breakout, it's hugely relevant to the extent that we want a clean breakout right now. Okay, we're talking about a launch pad. We need a clean breakout. Typically, I'll say this. We need because looking back at 2021, I mean, when it was time to launch, it was time to launch. Boom. It was over. Bam. We were up and gone, right? The beginning of the year, we can discuss that in a bit. Pardon me. Excuse me. In a bit. Pardon. Talking too quickly. Sorry, guys. As I would talk about the specific framework to put into relevance here, okay, this jagged price action and what we need right now being the launch pad, being the velocity, being the takeoff moment. Where is it? Is it anywhere near? Can we see it right now? Is it, that's what I'm discussing. We're up and out of this specific pattern, okay, on the and even on the descending triangle, you guys have got to admit we're up and out of the descending triangle on every time frame and the candle wicks. So we have this $47,700 just staring us in the face. We have the preceding high. I've let you know the descending triangles are not favored by bulls. We have this as a hurdle. Preceding high, that first red line, 42,551, right? So let's look back at the preceding retracement. Strong level of resistance here, well carved in, right? Pretty solid line here. Let's see how long this line lasted through. Let's get up through. Let's just go through this. What was it? 14 to, I didn't want to draw that. Pardon. 14 to about 2 weeks, was it? 14 to 21 days. That's right. 2 to 3 weeks here we spent. So 2 to 3 weeks. Let's just put this on par right now and look at the about 2 weeks. Okay. What is another differential I can put in here? A lot of action here. A lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at all that action along that line of resistance. Relatively clean, right? As you would look at what we had to get up and above. When we talk about the takeoff moment, it was a nice move to the upside. What was that in one day? That was only 10%. So within threshold, the difference is we just kept going, right? Those lines, those hits along the resistance were relatively well defined, okay? A nice line of resistance. Look at all these hits along 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just boom, 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 boom. So that's a well-defined line of resistance, whereas we've been carving a bit here on different, and I don't remember, I'm going to tell you this, I don't remember then at that standpoint, our working and crossing over to the candle wicks as much as we were to the lines, okay? Now, we were trading, okay? And Angel knows this big time. We were trading in the back. We found that ascending triangle to launch off in mid and was that July? Yeah. That was Q3, right? 2021. So This is a little more complicated. All right, just seemingly a little bit more complicated. Talking about the level of simplicity starting about 60 days ago into a little bit more of a complication, right? And you have to admit, right, we're amidst we've been amidst a regulatory issue. We've been amidst a kind of a war issue. We've been amidst some different dynamics in the market right now. This has just gotten a lot more complicated, it seems like. The breakout, at least in terms of if nothing more, we could talk about it like this. We could discuss this in patent mainframe TA here. In terms of, we're in a descending pattern. Okay, we're in a descending triangulation, descending line of resistance. Half the market is going to take this specific line of resistance and going to state, well, it should be rejected and we should be capitulating to the downside. The probability is descending triangle, we should move down. So that's for starters. Whereas initially here in 2021, we were in a descending wedge, purely bullish, right? So the way that this has been frameworked, we're already in a position where, yes, we're getting that volatility, but even on like the breakout here of this specific pattern was 4 or 5%, right? We're just, for a host of reasons, we're at a higher level of complexity in terms of the price action, the breakout, the type of pattern. Looking at not only are we essentially, we're breaking out of what should be a bearish pattern because of this red line, which is proving to be, at least right now, a little bit of a hurdle in line with our breaking out also in a bearish pattern. So the good news is the bulls are pushing up. However, it's on a standardly bearish pattern, which if you trade a lot and you've been bitten by one of these at the top of a price action, you don't have to ask if they're bearish. I'll tell you that. If you have traded up into look at SHIB, okay? If you lost, some people had millions of dollars in SHIB and lost millions of dollars on a descending triangle. Ask them if a descending triangle is bearish. Just ask them. All right? We caught the descending triangle. The first SHIB 2X here at VIP, boom, okay? And that wasn't the recent run-up. That was their original run-up of SHIB, okay, when it first got listed. So looking at a descending triangle, a lot of the traders just like, well, you've been through experience, or either you've gotten out of a trade and you've booked your heavy profits, or, you haven't, or you have helped someone else get out of their trade, and assisted them in booking, tens of thousands, hundreds or thousands or millions of dollars. Literally. But these are big these are big issues. This descending triangle, when they speak loudly with a lot of zeros behind them to a lot of different people. And you guys know this, right? So the fact that we're trajecting up and out, and I always said, okay, the measurement to the upside would be, in the instance that we can beat this and break out, great, we're here, right? Good gosh, VIP traded here. You have no idea. Just bam, bam, bam. Throughout the entirety of this, you're not going to catch us on a day when everyone decided not to trade today. No, not going to happen at all. Never. I don't think that is ever going to happen, guys. So explaining a little bit of the dynamics, both in the interim, I'd say this intermediary level of the Fibonacci's instead of the level, okay, of the Fibonacci's on the macro. Okay, that's kind of assessment number one, right? The macro 50%, bam, a lot of volatility in here. Right, we saw a lot of volatility, and we're trying to get back to that volatility. We'll let you know. That's the purpose of this conversation. How do we get back to the volatility? Boom, bam. That's what we want, right? Now we're just shuffled up in here, right? So the 50% macro retracement provided those orders, bam, at the 50%. People ready to buy. They loaded up the exchanges with orders to take to higher levels, right? Essentially, that's what demand is in the market. Going into from that macro to this micro, right? This periodic kind of approach, just this pricing interval, just the specific traders in looking at the interval above the 50%. Yes, it got hit twice with great volatility. Bam. Bam. Now we're in the micro. We're not looking at the 50 right now. We're looking at just the golden pocket, let's say, right? So now you have a little bit more nuanced of an approach here. Good news is we're up and out of a standardly bearish feature, okay? The bad news is it's a standardly bearish feature. The descending triangle, they're not easy to beat. You guys understand that? They're just not easy to beat because of, and I'm just going to say, let's just say, not bad news. It just is the news. It is technically the truth. Would you look at that arrow down there? That's right. Pathfinder wants you guys to know there's an arrow down here. It was his idea, and I agreed to it. Golden pocket, right? We got the, and let me measure that, make sure we're at old Goldie here. Boom. 65th% retracement. Would love that. Pathfinder wants the golden pocket, so I put the arrow down there for him. A lot of people want the golden pocket, if we can get there. So to the extent that we have this framework put together with a, and we'll just, we'll try and wrap up this discussion a little bit. Let's see. But it's a good discussion. Why are we carving along right now? Why aren't we just, where's the rocket ship? Right? All the other altcoins are moving. I want to trade the other coins, right? Pardon for the screen there. You get like that with Bitcoin. Then Bitcoin takes off, and you look at it and you're like, oh, man, if I just been on a 5L of Bitcoin, man, you know, and you're chasing around the wrong coin, you're stuck in another position, that coin's not moving, or it is moving, or it moves against you. There's a good balance to have. And always keeping your eye on Bitcoin is part of the story. So part of the volatility, the different time frames, right? The complexity has been welcome in terms of kind of real simple ABC, right? Just 1 + 2 = 3. Real simple math. Then it gets a little bit more complicated. Now we're into like advanced calculus in terms of the TA in this specific area. It's been extremely complex. We have enjoyed the heck out of it, just so you know. We very much enjoyed it, watching the price action. We want that price action. So the hurdle that we have, and this is as you look at it, it's like everyone, we're just looking at the next hurdle, right? Whereas in 2021 on the rebound, we had a real clear, I mean, look at this thing. Wham, nice line here. A nice bullish pattern. Expectations, bull. Everyone's thinking bull, bull. That's it. Everyone's thinking bull. Here, everyone's still looking at, okay, well, what is our, let's just calm down. What's our next hurdle? What's our next hurdle? Well, 42,551. Everyone who trades agrees that is our next hurdle. That's not the same thing, guys. I'm going to tell you, that's not the same thing here, right? Of just slamming back into, slamming up and out, at least maybe even you could say to the origination of the wedge, okay? Much different approach being in, well, look at this. It's a bullish feature, 2021. It's like, well, you would say bullish, bearish. 8 days a week, you're going to say that, guys. You say, and you always qualify, well, the descending triangle could, it's one of the right descending line of resistance, flat level of support. It could operate. It could operate as a continuation pattern to the upside. That's a second thought, okay? I'm going to tell you, if you guys, the ones who trade a lot, yeah, they can bite you. Now, to the extent, and by bite you mean again, move against you and cost you money. If you're trading them at the top of the price action, beware of that. So we're staring at hurdles right now, okay? Now, within the context they're in, we're also looking at potential solutions along the way, right? And we've probably moved from this intermediary, just so you know, the approach here. It's not a solution per se, but it is what it is in terms of the framework of the patterning that's going on, right? Macro, war pour down, right? Into here, war pour down back into 50% here. Intermediary, micro. Now, people are looking at solutions. And you know they are, don't you guys? Yeah, for this descending wedge, for this issue right now. We had the macro right in here, the 50%, down to the 50%. We had the micro interval here. Now we're looking at solutions, and people are loaded up at these levels. I'm going to tell you, at the 23.6, people are loaded up, okay? And on a more aggressive level, they've already been hitting, right? You guys know this. On a more aggressive level, previous breakout, they've already been hitting this. Now, the extent to which if we were to gain a level of support along the bottom, and I'm going to use that, not, okay, if we do fall out. No, if we were to gain a level of support along the bottom here that would be reinforceable and ascending in line with essentially what we have right now, there's nothing wrong with the one that we have right now. We'd prefer to make contact at least make direct contact with the 42,551, just as a step one for Bitcoin. We would prefer the direct contact. We need a flat top line at least, if not conquer. Okay, now conquer is going to require, and I'm going to tell you this, if we can beat 2 ascending wedges, there's not much bearish about that at all. Okay, I'm just going to tell you, if we can do that, there's not much bearish about that at all. To the extent that we traject here to the red line and we formulate any type of an ascending line of support, just any type of an ascending line of support. Let me get rid of this. Wrong button here. Let me get to the scuba mask polyline. There we go. Any type of an ascending support. Okay, get down to this level. Get down to whichever level we can, right? And we don't want to swing failure in there. Let's just any type of a price action here. Okay? To give ourselves another ascending triangle, the fun will begin. Now, if it decides to traject down, remember that I'm just going to say we have indicated through the breakout of the descending triangle that the buyers are there enough. The probability at this point, I trade a lot, you trade a lot, I think you'll agree, is that we're going to formulate, it would be a huge shock to the market if we were to not formulate, okay, a specific ascending line of support here at some level. Now, I'm telling you that orders are stacked at those levels because they are, and because VIP most likely are some of those with the stacked orders at these levels, not to bring the price down, just because the orders are there. They're not just by us, by the market, etc. Okay? The orders are there. Whether or not they get picked up, that's a whole nother story, right? That's almost to the degree it's inconsequential. They become inconsequential if orders aren't picked up, but so that you understand the dynamics of what is going on here. We have a position here. We have, what's the solution? Because people would say, well, what is the solution right now? Because we have, we're trading. We have, this dynamic where you're saying there's a red line, there's another red line, just, problems all over the place, huh? No, there is an opportunity to conquer this specific rising wedge. The answer, which no one likes, is, well, you can have a position now and you can cover your position. Because that's back to the biggest problem that traders have is you can make money in the market. The question is, how much money can you make in the market? The more you push into that higher level function of, well, I want to add a zero, I want to add 2 zeros, I want to add whatever it may be. And some people do want to add 2 or 3 zeros to their account, and some do, right? They just, as a matter of fact, they do. So within the context of the risk, right, to reward function, as you look at what your expectations are, your desire, and I'll just tell you, it makes a lot of sense, right, to go heavy into these types of events, right? That's what it's all about, I got to say, for a lot of people. Now, but what is it? It's 77%. Yeah. Now, heavy, you can go heavy. But when cash is multiplying like that from the bottom to the top, it doesn't make sense to be too lightly involved, period. 130% to the upside. And this ain't like a baking sale or something. Everyone pass around muffins and let's you get it, right? We are men. We trade, right? So to the extent that we are here to kind of enjoy the the foot on the floor on the actual floor and the extra boom on the Ferrari, we're like that, right? Always within the understanding, that's a different level of analogy of someone wrecked, okay? Not with your foot all the way down on the Ferrari, okay? Because we want you to be around for a while. So what I'll say is this. I was very clear here. It's a good time to buy Bitcoin publicly around everybody. It was at 30,000. This was a treacherous event here on the left-hand side, if you guys remember that. And I'll call it treacherous because I was around people who I told them, I got a crypto station. Oh, okay, London. Oh, they would turn around. They would go. I'm talking about former professional traders that ran desks full of pro traders handling billions of dollars a week in trades. Currency, forex, etc., like big operational institutional. They turned around after I told them I was in crypto in this time. They went and sold all the crypto they had Then they told me the next day, I'm like, excuse me, you sold all your, I mean, I was like, you did not need to do that. Like, but it caused that kind of pain to people that it had fallen so much. Some of the coins were down 70%, 80%. They thought it was a lost cause. And no. It's a good time to watch this. And in here, yeah, it's a good time to buy. Right now, it's a good time to have orders. I'm just going to tell you that. It's a good time to have orders. There's a lot of people in the market with orders. I just tell you that. So, you can contravene maybe some of the stronger participants in the market if you choose. Those stronger participants right now are looking at the dynamics in the market. Now, if it were to take off to the upside and just rifle to the upside, I can still remember that stream as good. Rock and roll, brother. Pathfinder in the house. VIP. Bam. Yeah, you do remember that, don't you? Huh? In terms of it's a good time to have a position in Bitcoin. And you have no idea who I was around or what all was there, but, everybody looking at me just kind of, it's like turning their whole half of the upper body and kind of looking over at me, not like the quick cut take, like cool dudes. Some of these guys, like, money guys, like kind of the whole top of the body kind of, real stiff, like looks around at me and, was that young man is saying something about Bitcoin, It's just like, yeah, it's a good time to buy it, man, but it worked out phenomenally well. Right now, it's a good time to have a position. Of course, if you want to carry your alpha, your structural component, some people will never sell Bitcoin. I know, money managers, et cetera, around here that have, clients with, and I won't discuss the primary holdings of Angel. I won't do that. But, some other contacts, et cetera, with like, 50 million worth of Bitcoin, they're never going to sell it, no matter what. Do they trade in addition to that? Yeah, they do. But they enjoy crypto, new projects, etc. But some people just won't sell. Whatever your alpha is, great to carry. If you're looking at orders, okay, on your leverage coins, etc., your longs or your shorts, you got those lined out from a few different areas right now, right? A few different approaches. VIP have got prior breakout. May want to go to the entirety of it, right? You may have a select measurement tool that you want to get back into. We may find a cross trend line in the back. We say this is a hot little level of prior resistance to support, right? Okay. As we would look at the dynamic here, this is going to push a little bit in terms of the pardon for my pup in the back. In terms of that, there's some people coming over. In terms of like this specific framework here, that's interesting. Right, we have a few different, and if our VIP, you're like, yeah, that's kind of nice, but what are you going to count? What breakout are you going to count now? Are we on the candle wicks? Are we on the actual lines? We normally draw on the lines, just so that you know that. Okay, we normally draw on the lines, and we would normally draw this into here for the most aggressive. Let's just drop it to here, and I think Path in the back, Pathfinder's already been through this, real easy stuff. Like, yeah, we did that earlier today, but that's where. Look at this. I mean, already right on it, and boom. Yeah, but I want to make money in the market. Yeah, I want to book my trades. Yeah, boom, right? And you can throw some leverage onto some things. You can do some different. You guys are sophisticated in the marketplace right now. It's a good time to have orders because we're hitting orders. We're hitting those Fibonacci's on the lower levels, and I don't want to be. And we're not. I don't want to be part of the crowd that just says, well, when it starts going up, we're going to get involved in a trade. You guys know this, right? And few separate themselves from that crowd significantly. We do with and I'm going to turn this purple again because that is our lowest target in the market, right? At pivot on the 4 hourly. You have to go to the 4 hourly. Didn't catch it precisely, but on the 4 hourly, we own that. Boom. You guys know that. Let's do this. We haven't done this in just a minute. Let's get back to one specific feature here that we have just forgotten for just a good period of time. There we go. All right. It's exactly what we wanted to see right now. It's exactly what we needed to see right now, right? Now, this level of, let's just draw this out. I don't have it red right now. That's good. I have another chart where it's red. Support to support, right? This cross trend line has been an animal, right? This support to support. Everybody knows this here, right? To support, to intermediary, to resistance, boom. So Yeah, we have two red lines. We have the primary trend line from 2020 to 2021 to recapture, my compadres, amigos, señores, damas y caballeros. We have got the primary trend line of 2020 to 2021 to recapture and reharness as a level of support instead of resistance. So, and I can tighten this up a little bit. It would not do harm for me to tighten this up just a touch. Okay. Now, that's a serious deal, guys. That's the primary trend line of the entirety of 2020 to 2021. That's not a statement of maybe or if or that or anything else. That's the truth, huh? Anybody who's not talking to you guys about this line, in your family or anything else, you need to tell them about it. You need to tell your wife, tell your kids, tell anything. By the way, just so you can be reminded about it, I'm not joking. Try and tell them. Say, you know what? The entire trend line of 2020 to 2021, make sure you tell one other person about it. Just to do it, to make sure you discuss it. Put it in your mainframe for a minute. The support to support. I'm not being too comical here. To support to resistance, boom. We just confirmed off of that. That's the biggest line in Bitcoin right now. We can draw the heck out of all different types of patterns, everything else that we want to right now. That's a big line, guys. That's the line in Bitcoin right now. So we have a challenge before us. In addition to this red line, preceding intermittent high, in addition to this preceding intermittent high, you want to see some staggering price action potentially, some difficult price action, like we've seen potentially, like explaining why is this a little bit edgy here, right? Let's get up into potentially this area. You guys want to see some fireworks in this area, huh? I mean, that's where we potentially be breaking out of an ascending triangle after having broken out of this framework here. And I'll just say this is a symmetrical triangle. We've got so many patterns in play right now that it is it's nice. You got to buy at support, sell at resistance. I mean, this was just looking at the macro here. You guys know this. At the macro 50% hit, this was easy stuff, guys. You wanted to print money. Everybody walking around me like, hey, I hit the 33,500, the $34,000. I'm like, good. That's what you needed to do. That was the target. That's the way to do it. Good job. Boom. You hit that. There you go. That's our target, right? Lowest in the market that we know of, okay? We could have scaled into core value acquisition. You guys know that. Below the 50%. We could have gone a 1 through 10 on the the way you would have done that just under the 50% so that we cover this for VIP. We would have liked to have done something along these lines. A little bit too complex for just everybody to kind of understand or go through. But yeah, we could have definitely laid out this framework below core value underneath the 50 to capture the entirety of it. Okay? We didn't go there. It's an option in terms of we didn't hit the exact low. There's some different techniques. I'm not always full, I don't know what we say, just I'm not always fully, I don't talk about them all the time. I bring up some of the techniques in the back. They're just a little bit more, just a little bit more advanced than a simple, let's all buy. That's not the point. Let's see, 86 fib mod. There we go. So that can capture the entirety of the price action. Adjust your fibs as needed. 0 through 10 makes sense. 0.1 through 0.9 up to 1. 0.1 to 1. Really 0 to 1 with 0.1 increments is nice. All right. So just set your orders. Bam, bam, bam. That's easy. You just type that out in, 3-4 minutes. Not a big deal. Look at the screen and just type them in. Easy stuff. So looking at this framework here, the triangulation, right? The most immediately pressing, let's just do this. Let's leave that here. The most immediately pressing framework that we do have. And now we're going to start getting into different time frames. Now we're going to start getting into people who've drawn on the 4 hourly. This is just the truth, guys. People who've drawn from the 4 hourly through this line of resistance straight on through. People who've drawn on the And here we go. This is where it begins. And when we're looking at the different levels of kind of a etched in process here, I don't want to make this too busy on the screen. You need to understand what the traders are looking at right now. Okay, this is a fact. This is not maybe. No, this is highly technically accurate information when you really start to process it on the 4 hourly. Well, then we go to the hourly. All right, on the hourly. All right, you see that? Do you see how that goes to this lower pivot on the hourly? Boom, right here instead of on the 4 hourly. Do you see what starts to happen? Just immediately from now, a higher pivot here on the hourly, right here, bam, to a lower pivot here on the hourly. Now, you're wondering why we're carving along, potentially, right? We are pushing up with bull power into lines like this on every different time frame. Okay, the ones that do apply. That is the type of framework that we need to get up and out and through. So I would not expect an easy journey doing that necessarily. Let's say this. If we can beat the ascending wedge, it's against the probabilities. You know this. If we can, and again, orders are waiting below already at this level. We know this. What's the BTC down 0.64? Not a big deal. 41,916. Okay. Looking at what else is moving real quickly just to check my ETFs. Rune. Way to go, Angel. Way to go, VIP. I brought Rune to VIP last year. Interesting project. Interesting enough. But with these specified lines that were just covered, right? Going into the differentiated time frames. Believe it or not, guys, people will be selling and buying at each and every one of these. And when you capture that on the scale of how it's done and with the amount of money that it's done with, it does make sense for them to do it. To capture, some people want to capture a 0.2% or 0.5%. That's it. On the hit, boom, automatic trade, bam, bam. These, boom, 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 boom. They literally just want to capture that in the market. So in terms of explaining the price action, that's what we're up against right now. That's not a real clear-cut, beautiful kind of picture to paint, and everything's just fine. We're flying to the upside. I wanted to give you kind of a realistic notion of what has gone on here, because we just had nice volatility, bam, 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 just to the up and downside. Now we are compressed in, but we're up and out. It's just the levels of the hurdles that we have to get up and over are real, and in the context of the specified rising wedge that we are currently facing amidst the breakout, they are increasingly apparent to the traders. So there's no two ways around that. And I'm never going to apologize about the technicals. I'm not going to say, well, I wish I could be, I'm not going to say this. I'm not going to reframe the technicals to accommodate anybody's feeling around here, because none of us mind trading, particularly at lower levels. Backup cash is the name of the game here, never overexposed. We plan on being here a long time. All right, so with that said, we had some of the best trades in 2021, period, in the market. That was our first year here with VIP. Luna in between $4.50 and $5 target. Acquisition was, Angel, you'll remind us, at $5 and $5.50 to $6. It went up to $105. That was a nice trade. It was a very, very nice trade. Shout out to Angel, number one contributor, VIP, numero uno, the man. Miss you, brother. I'll chat with you in a little bit if you're behind the scenes. He always says he's always listening, so he's probably just hanging out. And Craig, I did let him know that you, I let him know you said hello. Shout out. Let him know the VIP are saying hello. And so this is the first front and center, just full on discussion, technically the most involved and complete that I can give you right now on the price action. Okay, we could delve into some additional factors right now. In addition to this specific move here, we've got these looking for confluence between the smaller level, okay, and this overall level, and this level. There's a lot of orders waiting here. You guys know that, right? There's a lot of orders waiting here. There's a lot of orders waiting right here. You guys know this, right? There's a lot of orders waiting right. Let's say in here, like all these levels. So we have a multiplicity of levels. The best thing that I'll say right now is that, as we say, buy at support, sell at resistance. We've been at a resistance, and amidst the selling pressure, buyers are continuing to push up. That's exciting, right? If you have a position that's coasting, even a smaller position on leverage or etc., that's fine. I mean, I'm not. That's out of conformance with technical analysis. I mean, just look at the difference between the 1 hourly. It looks like we're pouring down, and just so you see different. How would you come up with all those different lines of resistance or support? It's not that complicated. Look at the hourly versus the, let's say the 30-minute. Just much different in terms of the overall patterning. Now, that's the one thing I wanted to gain is additional patterning to give us an indication as to the overall framework. I don't want to say it's a double top. Do you guys? Ouch. We will say it in the context of this. In the context of the following, we have to say this, guys. All right? We have got to say this because we did formulate a... We formulated not only a rising wedge here. I know the bulls want this thing to go up. I know they want to buy it. They just do. Okay? So, and we'll do like a full-on diagnostic in the back. I'll give VIP best of what we can. We have a channel formation here to attempt to hold, which is another. You're going to find a rising wedge on almost every time frame right now. This is wedged in. Luna pushed up very well on a wedge recently and created a secondary wedge and capitulated to the secondary wedge. Okay, the second wedge that it had. If you guys traded that, you know about that. We were discussing because Angel appropriately said, be careful of shorting Luna right now. And that was the truth. Very well stated. We appreciate that a lot, Angel. We love when you're participating with us. It's a lot of fun. And in terms of, and we hope you're making more money when you participate with us. That's the whole idea. We got to get us another Luna for 2022. I don't know, maybe a brand new Luna that nobody knows about at like 10 cents. That's going to be like $105 at like 2023 or something. That'd be nice. I'd have to look for those. I don't know. Like 10 cents, huh? To $105. I'd have to look for that. Okay. I'm good at looking for those. That's what I like to do in my spare time. As we would look at the not being coy, that's what I like to do. A lot of VIP like to do that stuff. Looking at this specific feature here, we cannot overstate. Now, this specific rising wedge is over. We can handle that. We're in a constriction to the upside. Breaking to the downside, I want to measure this, and on the candle wicks, it's a little bit that tightening formation. And again, it's trying to hit that specific red line target, isn't it? We have one rising wedge, then a secondary rising wedge. The apexes are literally just going straight into that feature, the target to the upside. You guys know this, huh? It's just, I love the way the technicals, how they demonstrate themselves. It's nice. So looking at this specified feature here, if you have a position right now, congrats. I'll say that. Congratulations. It's it's not a dire moment to absolutely capitulate, but you have to be able to hit your targets below. The all-in routine can cost, okay? And the exchange may make sure of that. All right? I think you heard me. The exchange may make sure of that. Now, we better bring out the bull. That's right. When we go rocket, you better believe that. Ain't that the truth, huh? It's been nice to have that bull, huh? That bull has done what that's just the way, huh? That bull is the show, man. That's the Bitcoin bull. And we'll bring him out. I'll put that in. We will bring him out. We may have him just going around in circles for like a full day or something. I don't know. If we get a new all-time high, we may just have an entire channel where it's just the Bitcoin bull going around. We'll do something cool. We'll do something fun for VIP. Candle wicks tell a good story here. All right, I was looking for any type of a specified, and that's pretty aggressive towards the top. it has been so catchy to let a position go thus far. You know this, huh? It's like as soon as anyone would want to get out of a trade, boom, it's gonna flash back. Letting you guys, the bull trap was a bear trap, was a bull trap, and then a bear. I mean, it literally was just like that, just really catchy. Glad I brought those videos to you guys because quite a few people, I'm sure, got hit on a descending triangle, right? Bulls popped in. Then to the upside, we covered this morning, we had an ascending triangle, which capitulated, boom, back down into it, picked up, bam, to the upside. So literally, if you're playing hopscotch with the, or just, what'd you call it? Just, it's like ping pong the wrong direct, with a fireball. You're literally just, you're going down. If you're panicking on these trades, you just are. It's in range. It's doing okay. The extent is where someone could still be in a short here is entertaining to me right now. From yesterday's pour down, it's like, well, we're streaming. It was breaking. I got into a short. I don't know. I just decided to hold it. You could, and you might be just fine on it. Your threshold is your threshold in terms of your risk, etc. Some of you have been really keen to trade alts and focus on alts. I like to focus on BTC. So, and the other alts are fine as well. Looking at a potential pour down on that 5 minute, we'll go to that 1 minute, and we have some differentiation here. It's going to give us a little bit of BTC price action. Let's see if we have any type of let's see what we have here. Not too much, just aligning some levels of resistance and support. Bit of a symmetrical triangulation. Now, the last thing I literally want to do right now is, but I'm going to do this because I wanted to find some sort of a channel which would give us an anticipated measured move to the downside. You guys know what I was just trying to do here with the channel formation, right? I was trying to establish two parallel lines that would give me essentially, find a conformance on the different time frames that would give me a lower level expression of the amplitude of whatever channel might be hidden on the framework there of that one specific time frame. Now, finding a symmetrical triangle or a nice triangulation with an amplitude move would do the same thing. You guys agree? Just the amplitude of that channel to move here to the downside to at least get us in the framework of a potential downside potential for 41,194, right? 41,200. Just a potential, right? Now, she just hasn't been accommodating in terms of, let me see this. She has not been accommodating in terms of the down 0.99 right now in terms of the sustaining a long or short position. She just hasn't been super accommodating there in terms of generating any kind of real profit. She's been consolidating, right? Up and out of and away from the breakout. Now, the breakout looks really nearby, doesn't it? That breakout here from that descending triangle resistance, it looks pretty close when we zoom in like that. We're up and out, without a doubt. But as we would look at the framework here, and we're going to have to beat that. It just looks like a double top, doesn't it? It's ascending, but it's just looking, of course, as it pours down, it's going to start to look more like a double top. It just, it kind of, it's fashioned as such. I was going to say, the notion, and it can beat this, and it's proven 2 or 3 times to pick back up. I don't think anyone's super worried about it, but I'll tell you this. Don't be overexposed, and then you're not super worried about it. I met a guy this last week. He's like, oh, I trade stocks. I'm not very good. I have to watch the computer all the time. I'm very upset. It's the bottom of a descending now. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that, Slim. It's different time frames. Huh? You get to the 5 minute. We do have a double-headed head and shoulders, right? We do have like a double like head and shoulders here, meaning just 2 centralized features, which do play, by the way. That's not always a disqualifier. It's not easy because you've got And you could just do a shoulder. I don't like the nature of the right shoulder being that asymmetrical with the left shoulder. We'd probably just pull this over. However, this feature here can and does play. If you trade them enough, you know that they do, right? Again, finding this amplitude is the key feature here. We can do it with a triangulation. I'm not opposed to saying you're in a descending triangle, something like that, if you're on a time frame. The one pickup we're going to have is right in here, right? So as soon as we find a breach of that line of support indicated there, we're going to find all types of potential catches in here on the different time frames as well. So looking at the framework here, immediately we start to kind of spiral down here in terms of what is possible in terms of a pickup. So we will, and that's again, buy at support, sell at resistance, trade your patterns, and hit your targets. Targets are in force in the market right now. But you see how close we are as we zoom back into this breakout. It's just very relevant, immediately relevant. As well as immediately relevant is the 38.2 right now. Just, it's had a nice hit at the 38.2. You guys brought that up. Was that Pathfinder in the back? Appreciate you bringing that up. I'm going to bring up one more issue here. This falling wedge, which formulated after the pour down from the descending triangle. Nice catch. Impressive catch with this micro descending triangle. Bulls pushing in, right? Nice catch. To the extent that we had a specified, and this is important, just pay attention, please, to the attention speaking to this specific, this is the word I'm looking for, this with specificity, as to, speaking with specificity is what I was thinking of, as to this specific falling wedge in the context of a double top. Okay? Falling wedge has been known to formulate a double top. Now, this has performed quite well. If you trade a lot and you're familiar with falling wedges, you know that they like to push up into about this region here and then capitulate. Okay, not always with a higher high. Okay, when I see them most frequently, it's with a lower high. It's a wedge that doesn't want to continue to the upside. However, this one has been, and we drilled this in through the fan, etc., 3 or 4 different patterns. I think every pattern that we could have really, and I do that to assess what the market's going to provide us next. Will it be, if there's one of those elements within here that's not included on the next set of pricing, I want to know all of the variables that were included in the pricing dynamics here. That's just how I am. I want to know every variable, every component technically that's involved in this. So sometimes it may seem like, London's going through like every single pattern that's included in there. I understand. I want to know every variable that's in here and the interfunction or interdependency, if there is any, of those specific variables or components. That's how we get the return to function on ascending. Okay? That's how we get return to function on the falling wedge. Return to falling wedge for pour outs. That's how we get into some of these data sets that it's just like you'll see interrelationships as well between the patterns, and it's just important to accurately and fully assess them as best we can without going overboard, right? And if we have the time to do it, it's not overboard. If you're involved in it with money and you're approaching it seriously, it's not overboard at all. So just to look at the different patterns in play. So the double top formation potential is realistic given the fact that we're in. And if you trade a lot, I'm just going to say, because I know you guys do, but I have to say that because that means that you've seen this work out in the charts already at the lower time frames, etc. You've already seen this. If you haven't really busted through the lower time frames, and I mean get on the 15-second and hammer through like 4 trades in the morning, and go book 4 trades in the morning on the 15 seconds, just with some whatever kind of money you want to do it with. I was telling people in 2021 to do that. Just hammer through, go book 4 trades in a row every morning. Then jump into your charts. Just spend an hour and book 4 trades on the 15 seconds. Don't worry about it didn't move enough, I didn't cover my spread. Book 4 trades with patterns, etc. Do that every day for a month and a half or 2 months. And I'm saying book 4 trades in a row for every day for a month and a half to 2 months. And I will tell you, you will know more about the patterns and the frameworks it's presenting to you, not just the one that's showing to you right now, but the next one and the next one that it's about to show you than anybody in the market. I will. And you guys know that if you're going to book 4 trades on the lower time frame, it's data. It is the programming of the exchange. So you're just digging into it. Make sure you're aware of what it's doing to you. And that's where you'll start to see the dynamic of, it's not one of these every 3 or 4 weeks that you happen to see one, or month that you happen to see one into a double top. No, it's, I've traded, say you've traded, 80 patterns in the last couple of days. And, over the period of weeks, you've traded hundreds of them, not just the ones that develop and you're waiting. They all look the same. No, and that's the other part. They'll all look differently. They'll throw you everything at the lower time frames instead of the patent approach with every single one of, we could literally lay over half of the altcoins. They're the same, a few outliers. Literally, it's just, you get into, you need that differential. And that's what the lower time frames will offer you. I challenge you guys to do that. It'll be, I think, rewarding for you. So, and I do see that, Slim, you're trying to say we're in that descending triangle. I don't disagree. The bottom line has a little bit of an uptick to it, but we're in formation right now. This is really, and I should be fair enough, we're in this formation. We do have a decent pickup here. We're more in line with, to express this well, we're more in line with this expanding diagonal here, right? That's forming amidst this line of support, line of resistance, and we have the pickup, that next pickup at the 41,546. So, in terms of, do we have a pickup right now? No, we don't have a pickup. Pickup, entry, lower level, ascending triangle. Pickup, entry, lower level, below the 50%. 1, 2. Do you have a clear-cut release right now? Well, I'm going to say you probably released here when we brought it up. I would say the recoup, ascending, entry. This got a little bit exciting in terms of the technicals. So if you're recently entered on the breakout here and you're looking at a double top, because that's looking pretty tough, huh? In terms of, like, it's Batman style, isn't it? You guys see that? It just is. You can pick up and formulate a nice channel, which Ape actually did that. Did you guys see that? But when I say Batman style, like, this is Batman style, the Dark Knight, right? Just bam, bam. It's just got it's got a classic double top formation to it, right? Just classic double top formation to it. Now, it is along a potential line of support. Let's go to the, I want to change a little bit this specified trend line. Hold on one second. Let me move this just a bit. It's a good discussion. Nice technicals. Okay, so let's go to the 5 minute. Let's go to the 5 minute. Let me go to the 30, to the hourly. Okay, the hourly has a good line on it. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, 0.95 down. The hourly, and we see that 100 below us, huh? Which would be a confluence with, let's see, can we get there on, we go to the lower, let me go to the 5 minute, see if I can get that on a level. With about, that's going to depend. This is good. So we're on a pickup right now. Technically, are we on a pickup? Yes. Technically, we're on a pickup. Okay? We just are. Confluence, the 50% retracement is with this line of support. Okay? And that is going to be a bit of a variable line of support depending upon which time frame you're on. If you're on the hourly, you're carrying over that hourly. Okay? In terms of this, you're going to have differences between the hourly, the 30-minute, etc. You choose your time frame you're most comfortable with. If you want to stretch it across the wall and go IMAX in terms of your 1 minute chart, go for it. If you've got big screen TVs all over the room and you got a 72-inch monitor, all these, just go for it. No problem. We're at a pickup with a lower, essentially from the candle wick breakout to the top wick. We are at a 50%, or 38.2% pickup. I'll go into the 5-minute time frame to watch this pickup. And out of fairness, I should not draw to a developing trend line. Without the 1, 2, 3, 4, I really shouldn't even draw this specified triangulation. I just should not. So I won't. I tried to and I started to. I don't think we should. We probably can, and it will work. I just don't want to be sloppy. When I just catch myself doing that, I don't want to be sloppy on it. And it may depend upon which time frame we're on. The degree to which we would have the notion of the symmetrical triangle, and I'll just catch myself on it. I just did it, and if someone else did it, I would probably say, I'm not sure you should have done that. The reason that it's acceptable, and I'll say this, the reason that it would be acceptable to draw that out there is because you have the symmetrical triangulation. You have the appropriate pitch on the triangle from the downside resistance to the top, or from the top side resistance to the downside support. Everyone agrees. It's the idealized pattern of a symmetrical triangulation therein, period. Okay, so that's what justifies doing it. But unless you're going to go to that extreme, and that's what caught my eye originally, was the nature of the symmetry involved. Unless you're going to draw out and project, and you guys know we do that frequently, right? We'll draw something out and say this is likely to move to such and such, right? Likely to fail and recapture as such and such, right? The notion that this would be within the conformance of idealized patterning is specifically understood by us now, because I've expressed it. But without that stated, be careful to, or with that stated, let's say just with that stated, be careful to always, let me get into this, be careful to try and only draw your patterns that are really well established, right? We would really like to have 3 hits, 2 to 3 hits, 2 to 3 hits. The one drawing to the line that's still developing, we try and shy away from that, so we don't just continue to push and push and push, right? But if you do find a hit along an idealized pattern, right, then you do, and we have. So for the ones who work their technicals to that degree, you understand that's kind of a fine line, and I wouldn't recommend that you try that if you're not experienced with it, and if you don't have your patterns down to the angles that they should have, okay? Just don't take liberty and start drawing triangles that don't formulate or don't push your technicals beyond your knowledge or your know-how. If we do it here, it's because we've handled a lot of patterns, and that's for everybody included. So anyone who's just kind of listening, kind of pay attention. Be a light line of support there. We're at a pickup now. What I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to go to the back. We're going to trade. So what we're going to do, this is London. Watch out for the double top. We do have a falling wedge amidst several other patterns. My preferred patterns are in the back with VIP. In terms of the preferred patterns, in terms of what really constitutes the launch, I tell you guys, if you are in a wedge breakout to the upside here, and you're experiencing this is the most uncomfortable thing in the world if you just got involved in a breakout here. If you don't know what's going on with the price action here, and like we diagnosed all over the place in terms of the entirety of the price action earlier, this specific these last few days, etc., have been real choppy. If you don't really know how this works in with itself, you're going to be frustrated. You guys know this, huh? VIP are like, yeah, you're going to, working out the next level of resistance to support to resistance. If you don't know where this is generating or how this is generating, you talk about frustrating, right? Big time. Learn your technicals, learn your patterns, okay? When I recommend the book, John J. Murphy, Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets, get the book, read the book. The answer's in there exactly why it's like this right now. Exactly within 100% in line with the descending wedge. I bring up the wedge now because of the potential for a double top. That's it, and we're at a pickup right now. We're at a target. You guys have a position? You sold out on altcoins? Let's see what we got. Are you sold out on them? Not are you sold? Did you sell them out? What's up, Rune? What are you doing, Rune? Let me take a look at Rune. Man, Rune. Let's take a look. Look at that. Nice framework. Nice framework. Just want to take a look. It's up 5%. Way to go. That's like a special delivery there on Rune, huh? Very nice. 5% to the upside. Man, I wish I knew someone who was in like 3L heavy on this. Man. In fact, I think Rune hit the 86% retracement on the macro down to the candle wick. Bam. So I bet I know somebody who's heavy into Rune 3L. I don't know who that'd be. Probably like heavy into it, huh? I mean, it's almost like someone just made a phone call on that. They did not, but I mean, bam, 5% in a down market. Whew. Rune just showing up for business today. Nice move on you have to say, on someone who's heavy into 3L on Rune. Pretty cool project, a little different. A little bit different. They got hacked. So have most of the governments in the world. So that's okay. So we're watching the pickup here in terms of this 38.2 secondary level from the point of breakout. Boom to the upside. Fibonacci's golden pocket would be nice. You say this right now, we want some momentum. Honestly, we'd like to get some momentum up against that, up above that 42,500 to reframe things just real quickly in terms of the descending triangle. It's a bearish pattern. We're up and above it. Potential for a double top right here. I will tell you, there'll be nothing surprising about either holding that or getting into a bullish pattern. Okay, if we could formulate some sort of a bullish pattern here, it would be nice to see on the lower time frames. We'll be watching for that. But as we see a bearish, typically bearish, I didn't say that, a typically bearish pattern, the descending triangle, descending line of resistance, flat line of support. The notion is they're not favored by bulls, descending triangles, because of the intermediary high. It's a hurdle. Always, not just now, always. Every time you trade a descending triangle, remember this moment right here. When you trade one, not that you have to quit here, a lot of people take here. Bam. If you don't see the price move at all, someone still took on the one that you trade. I'm going to tell you, traders take at intermittent highs. That's why they're difficult to beat. Okay? Secondary function here. Okay? Secondary high in terms of getting to your target to the upside. So that we're in an unfavorable pattern right now for bulls, why hide it? Just talk about it. It's just the facts, right? It's not perfect. That's why bulls don't like it. It's why traders don't typically favor them. And to the extent that they have a clear take, rebound, a lot of price action, 15% to the upside would be indicated by the completion of the amplitude of the triangulation. 47,750, I'll call it there. Okay, we've gone over those targets to the upside, downside. We're currently in a bearish pattern, the rising wedge. We have been pushing across the top here. This line of resistance, it's been nice to watch the bulls go at it with the bears. The bulls and the bears. This is VIP, by the way. My name is London. This is Bitcoin Spike. We like to catch the spikes. We have a great group of traders. Join us in VIP. If you want to up your trade game in 2022, we want to see what you got. We know what we got. We got a great group. Bottom line. So, let us cruise on. Hope you guys on Saturday night are having a good night. It's about 10 o'clock. I'll be in the back with VIP. Watch double top here. You got to pick up at 38.2, 50%. The 65th, right? 61 to 65th, 78.6. The 86 and the full retracement in concert with your other retracements. And you guys know this. So let's watch the patterns for a break, okay? And I'll just caution you again. We're along the top of a rising wedge. It is catchy. I released a video, guys. You know that I released the video in terms of bull trap. and I went to fake out, showing you 2 fake outs kind of in a row. It's been bull to bear to bull to bear trap. Literally just every way it's wanted to push up and down. Let me see what we got. Is ETC ripping? What's up? I want to see ETC. Yes. What's up? Let's see. ETC USD. I got to check this. Boom. ETC USDT. There we go. Bam. Nice move. Like to see that. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. We got to check this out real quickly just because. Nice, huh? That's 43% in a few days since that baby bull flag. Bam. Look at that to the upside. I just mentioned BCH, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum Classic to the VIP before this strong trajectory to the upside. Way to go, Slim. Appreciate that very much. And we invite you to become a member of our community for the exclusive zone. Mr. Greatest of all time, hope you're well. You're welcome to join our group. We'd welcome you to join our group. It's an exclusive zone for VIP, but you're really most welcome here. I want to let you know that if you trade, you're most welcome to join our group. We have had a lot of success in 2021, 2, precedingly, etc. Top of the channel is Angel Matos, involved in Bitcoin since $7.79. So this is the #1 trade group, brother. Hope you're doing okay in your market. Don't be intimidated by success. Try and go out and replicate it. That's what our group is all about. So nice ETC, nice move to the upside. Just glad we brought that up in the back. Just nice to see some framework of, hey, did you guys see this? And boom. It's just generally that's a good sign. Whether or not anyone's recommended to buy it, or we're not like we're not like that necessarily. But it's nice for someone to bring up, hey, have you seen what do you think of Cardano? I'm looking at the charts really heavily, and bam, it moves to the upside. These are good signs. It's good signs. So ETC is just ripping nice. Don't know if you're trading that. I'll put bam. ETC, huh? That's good. Ethereum Classic, BCH. Once they get going, price action, it's just those are coins that had price action in 2020 to 21, etc. So we look for repeat cycles, right? When will those coins cycle? Because they fit a genre of coins a little bit separate and apart from your VeChain, from your Chainlink, from some of these other really underperforming coins, and they're part of that group that we'd like to see that underperformed in Q3 to Q4, third and fourth quarter of 2021. We'd like to see those coins start to pick up and re-challenge their highs. So when we start to see that, it's going to be an indication to us that the entirety of the market is thriving. It's not it's not necessarily selected as a new technology. It's that was good technology and new technology. Look at Chainlink. Look at the that's our VeChain. Look at some of these projects. They're well endorsed. They're well funded. They're some of these have good projects. I'm not endorsing any of them right now. I won't invest at all in them unless I believe it's about to cycle. Period. I just will not do it. I want to trade it. That's it. I want it to cycle. I'll get into it when I think it's going to cycle. That or anything else. If it's got price action, I want to be there. Bitcoin is the boss. That's it. We like Dogecoin. Boom. We also like SHIB. AXS, we found the first bull flag. Matic, very early on the bull flag phase. Cosmos doing well. Ape, we tried to trade a little bit, had a lot of fun. VIP, they did well. Ample, interesting one. ADA, kind of slow. Dusk, Near, ETH, Phantom, FXS Gala, Mutable X, Loop Ring Luna, One Rose, Rune Sand, Soul. Just kind of on my watch list. Waves. What is Waves doing real quickly? Oh, she is, isn't she? Look at that. After underperforming on a noted, anybody got to note that, huh? We want to note that big time, right? Now, because there's a slight angle to the ascending triangle along the top, we're going to leave open, just to leave open the possibility. It may not make much difference, but that you might want to take off to the upside with something along the lines of that, okay? We'll leave that open because she didn't reach a target of a misformed. We want a flat top. I mean flat. We want it flat. All right. Ooh, waves, huh? Ay, ay, ay. You saw that rune chart. Rune chart looked like waves. That was nice. Like that rune chart. Consistent. Those big divots that you saw on the rune chart, just so you know, those were probably when VIP put in a huge order. Boom, boom, boom. I'm just not even kidding. You guys want to know who all's been buying this heavily, potentially? It's like, what are these? Bam, bam, bam. Well, that's probably when someone's entering at a relatively large position and the market's trying to threaten them that the market's going to take their money if they hold. And like, oh, you bring it on. I'm going to double down. Yeah, okay, fine. It's funny. A lot of times you get in a big position like this if you go on leverage, etc., 3L or 5L, whatever it may be on a coin. The exchange loves to just show you a lower price, don't they? Just try and get you to throw your coins on the floor, right? So whenever I see this, I just laugh because I'm like, yeah, that must have been an acquisition. Yeah, there was another acquisition, and there's another acquisition. It's just, at some point they'll get fed up with you. Like, fine, I guess they're just going to keep buying. So, but nice price action. Very, very nice. From that classic 86. Boom. All right. I am going to head to the back with VIP. It's been a pleasure to talk with you guys tonight. We've covered a lot in terms of price action, right? Beyond the technicals a little bit, into the just a discovery, like remember the variability in here with the lines, the candle wicks, the different time frames, to the complexity of the patterns. And think about how much you guys know right now. Advanced crew, huh? The guys in the back, VIP level. You guys are all welcome to join. If you're listening, you're welcome to join. We have advanced traders. Pretty cool. That's the truth. What's up? So, you guys be good. It's Saturday night. It is roughly working like 10, 11, 12 o'clock if you're overseas, etc. Remember to eat well, sleep well, and take care of those relationships. Invest in those relationships you knew were worth investing in before you started investing. And invest in these relationships now that you have started investing. That's about it, guys. It's London with Bitcoin Spike. A pleasure to go over the technicals with you. I'll be working on my charts a little bit this evening to bring VIP some additional quality framework in the form of the TA that we are providing. And we will be aware of this specific line right here as a line that needs to be conquered in terms of a level of resistance in the market. And I will just let you become aware of this specific line here, and we will watch to see if this pick up at that 38.2 can get us up and over. We're in a bearish pattern right now. To the extent that we can beat it, we attempted today and recapitulated back into it, and we've been discussing the likelihood of pricing action above this rising wedge level of resistance for some time since we really set into this wedge. So we're looking right at what we have stated would be expected for the operation of the wedge. We will continue to update you in the form of short videos. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. This is London with Bitcoin Spike. I so appreciate all you VIP. Cody, we want you to upgrade Manya.